welcome one and all to the Block Your one-stop shop for everything commentary, news, and research goings on the internet. I'm your host, Falgi EXE, coming at you live from Block Studios. It's so nice to see each and every one of you. Hello, everybody. Hello. It is such a good day. The dog is right here. She is ready for you guys to provide her with sustenance. She has begged for treats all day. I have told her, hey, no way. I cannot believe that we are going to be doing this. This is going to be a early stream. It's going to be a very early stream. Just because there's a lot of content to cover. There is literally so much fucking content right now, and it is a lot. It's going to go into, when are you getting them new earbuds? I don't know. Because I am tired of, like, I mean, I can take them off now, right? I'm tired of wearing the headphones. Like, I also need a haircut anyways. My hair is a little thick now. It's getting curly in the back, but yeah, no. But no. It's not gonna be a 36-hour stream. There's a lot of content to cover in this. I'm gonna try to do it the most respectful way we possibly can. I'm going to try to do as much as I can. This is a constantly developing story. There are diverts that we may or may not go to tonight, but I do have a plan to go over them in the future. Sly Boy appreciates everyone's support. Yeah, obviously, I do want to cover I had planned on covering the Sly Boy stuff this week. I kind of feel bad because all this shit happened. Gilla, shout outs to Gilla, aka Fembro, aka whatever the fuck they call themselves now, for dropping like a really comprehensive Doodle Tones video, like an especially comprehensive Doodle Tones video. It's really interesting. I'm pretty curious. We might cover it because it is obviously, I'm not ACC, but we've been covering, diaper doodles for a long period of time on the channel. And it's definitely been one of those things where I find the story of Doodle Tones to be very fascinating. I do think that it's one of the ACC's biggest L's. And that does include people that we know. I think it's one of Lyo's biggest L's. I would say it's definitely one of Ponder's biggest L's. Like, allowing diaper doodles to be in that community is an entire huge L. Allowing her to be a voice in the community, you'll go fuck yourself. But it is what it is, and we're gonna be doing it from there. So there's a lot of content to cover. It's so there's a lot of cover. Ivy, you do not have to you don't have to shower to me. Hey Fauci, are we able to do music requests for intro stream? If so, I suggest Bust a Groove soundtrack. I should do I should do a stream music request thing. However, the problem is that you have to make sure that it's non-copyrightable music. So I can't do that. I mean, if I remember, I'll try to do it. If I remember, I'll try to do it. Because I do try to pick music, obviously, because the plushies were talked about. And Emmy is a big fan of Sonic. That was part of the things that I was going to do.
At Metalman87 became a member. At Metalman87 celebrates 7 months of membership. Let Falgi's voice wash over you like the water.
No. I don't, Mr. Gamer, I don't know anything about that. You can put it in opera quests. If I don't know anything about Nina Lynn, Zoe Spencer, I don't know anything about that. If you guys want to put it in the Discord, under opera quests, if you have verifiable like time frame of what's going on with that, by all means you can. I know none of that. I don't know. I think I saw Dickers cover it and I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And obviously we're going to be covering a lot of the Twitch stuff. I do think that a lot of things are going to come out this week regarding it. For those who have asked, no, it is day 5/6 of the copyright strike. The notice has been forwarded to KP. She still has not responded. She still hasn't responded to the copyright strike. I'm still waiting. I know that She has not responded to anyone's copyright strikes. I'm surprised she really hasn't responded to... I'm honestly surprised. She sent 2 to Beckett. So what are we doing? If she's not going to pursue it, if she's not going to pursue it, she does understand that that's like, she is falsifying court documents, which is a problem. Like it is like legitimately a problem if she's doing that, and it will put her channel in jeopardy. I will be emailing YouTube about it if that's the case. I'll be like, hey, she's doing this vindictively. Her not pursuing it is that way. Listen, if she's not going to pursue it, it's TKPD. DKPD. I'm done. I didn't think KP. I think KP didn't expect you to fight them. Yeah, probably. Like, what am I afraid? That she knows who I am and my address? Okay. That's why first off, that's why you get a fucking business address and a P.O. box. And second, oh no, she has my fucking name. I am so scared. Am I willing to pursue legal action? I don't necessarily want to. I have no real interest in pursuing legal action regarding, I have no interest in pursuing legal action that way. It's kind of just stupid to me. It's just one of those things where my biggest issue is that KP acts like people haven't reached out to her. I did reach out to her. I told her that her behavior and her demeanor was ridiculous. And this was prior to her striking me. So I don't know what to tell you. But that's pretty much the update on the community strike, the DMCA. If she does do it, I guess we're all going. I'll say this again. I said this before, and I'll say this again. If my personal details leak for whatever reason, specifically from her, and verifiably I can say it's from her, it's going to be a bad time for her in more ways than one. So I am encouraging KP 100%. Please don't do that. I'm okay with you having my information. I really don't give a fuck. Don't do the latter. Just don't do the latter. It's not fun. It's no fun for anybody. It's really not a smart idea.
You can sue for a little of KP's jawline.
Oh God. I listen. All jokes aside on her appearance and her stinky vagina, like legitimately so, I don't want this fucking girl in jail. I just don't. Like, it's not what I want. It's not worth, like, legitimately it's not worth it. I think she's in a hell of her own making regarding her channel, her career at this point, as well as like certain other factors. I mean, if she did this to like garner my address for another legal thing, like if she wants to do that, I feel like that's interesting. I guess we're gonna have to go from there and see how that one works. But First Amendment rights. But that's pretty much it. We have a lot of ground to cover. We have a lot of goings to go through. And we're going to try to cover as much as we can. We may touch on Mizkif's past dramas. I'm going to briefly explain it because it's also another video in its own right to not only discuss Mizkif's past dramas, but also the reactions to them, the fallout from them originally, what his lawsuit that he actually won means. It's not what he actually thinks it means. Yeah, we discussed it yesterday, but I think it's time to go into it. It's time for me to put on these fucking headphones. It's gonna be a lot tonight, so bear in, drag in, feed that dog all night. You know what to do. And let's just get into it. So, oh, that's the thing. Let's go this way. So, for those who don't know, over the past week or so and the fallout of TwitchCon, This is Emiru. She's a popular Twitch streamer. We've covered her a little bit in the past. We covered briefly her assault at TwitchCon and the lack of effort, foresight, and action that Twitch took in the beginning, middle, and aftermath of her assault. And it's very disgusting. You can not like Emmy as a streamer. You can like Emmy as a streamer. I'm pretty much like, I don't really care for her. But that's pretty much it. Like, I don't hate her. But like everything that's happened in the fallout of Twitch has been very, very disheartening and disgusting. We watched a little bit of Mizkif's response yesterday. We watched snippets of Emmy's response, but this is her full hour and a half response. Now, I want to make something very clear right off the bat because I feel like this is going to be one of those things. Obviously, these are allegations. Emmy is alleging a lot of things at Mizkif regarding their years together and apart, knowing each other, dating each other, being broken up, and the ins and outs of that relationship. We have to remember that these are allegations. I know that she shows evidence of their discussions, just like Mizkif yesterday, last night, in the aftermath, alleges animal abuse towards Emmy. These two could be mutually assholes. These two can be mutually dickheads. She could be an animal abuser or neglector. Still doesn't right any of his wrongs if all those allegations are true. So obviously we have to remember that these are allegations until otherwise specified evidence or even a police report is filed. Obviously, here on this channel, I've always kind of made this very well known that having a police report is really good. If all of these things happen the way they did, it'd be really beneficial for Emmy if she did at one time file a police report. If she didn't, I get it. My overall feelings kind of coming away, and there's a lot of Twitch streamers coming out about Mizkif, is very mixed. I will start that right now. I feel very mixed about everyone being like, oh, we all have a Mizkif story. I feel like those should have come out then a while ago when he's verifiably getting the shit for covering up SA. So for those who don't know, during the pandemic and like kind of coming out of the pandemic, I think like maybe like 2021, 2022 time, allegations towards one of an OTK member known as Crazy Slick came out. Now, they were from an individual named Adriana Lee, spearheaded by two persons in particular, Trainwrecks and XQC. Now, one of the things I personally didn't like about those allegations is that it was spearheaded at a time when gambling was being targeted on the platform. And then this is her assault story is used to say, hey, your side of the street ain't clean either. And I always felt very mixed about that because the fallout was that girl really didn't get justice. Yeah, Crazy Slick like lost his career. But in my opinion, that girl never got justice for any of it. I don't know if that's what she was seeking. I'm not inside of Adriana's like brain, but I mean, that is what it is. Metal Man for the 5. Thank you. I don't know why it's so slow recently. Huh. It's like weirdly slow today. For Leia, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, it's like very, very weird. It's slow today. I might have to restart it. Give me 1 second so I can restart the donos. Give me 1 second, chat. I don't know why it's doing that. Hold up. You know, the funny way to do this is, so for those who, if you ever have problems with this, by the way, as a streamer, my solution has always been like reset your tipping bot and it will like refix it. I've noticed. That's because I have that canvas. I don't have it up. For me, if you reset the tipping bot, sometimes it'll fix donos, but yes. But there's like a lot of stuff. And it's like Mr. Gamer says, like, Mizkif begrudgingly kicked out Crazy Slick out of his house, but actually didn't. Very famously, the You Are My Ahiga came out.
Fulea.
Yes. And it's like Capsize says, like, Mizkif at a time, because it's an OTK thing, there are sweepers for him. And like Mizkif, it's not a smart guy by any means of the imagination, going to Destiny and I guess also Trainwrecks and Ice Poseidon again. It was very bizarre, very weird. And it was very evident that there is a problem with Twitch. There is a problem with Twitch. Now, I would like to say that this feels, in my opinion, like it's a problem with a lot of media. I don't think that it's personally localized to Twitch, but in the online space, particularly with Twitch, it feels like these top streamers throw a lot of money at a problem. Hollywood does it too. You see it constantly. Ice Poseidon stated that Twitch is worse than Hollywood. Okay. That's incredibly hyperbolic. I saw that tweet. Incredibly hyperbolic, given Harvey Weinstein. Like, you know, and I don't know, pedophile directors, and lots of rape and abuse, and like, hush hush $1 million lawsuits. Like, I would say that that is a little hyperbolic. Proves what, yeah, Bill Cosby proves what Ludwig was saying in that video. He took back that 95% of people he acts friendly with aren't his friends. Yeah. So like, but the problem is that Twitch and streaming is really, really weird. For a lot of different reasons. Twitch, like streaming specifically, is always marketed as the up close and personal view, and everyone acts friendly, kind, and whatever to each other.
Tusky, Eagles fan tipped $1. This is your on the ground reporter from the city of brotherly ass kicking.
Thank you!
We won 38-20 motherfuckers.
Yes, we
Victory
did.
bottomless popcorn never tasted so sweet.
Fucking
when I was
thank
young, I
God.
wanted to be a dolphin, but as I got older,
Why?
my sense of purpose sadly faded away.
Why do you do this? Thank you, fucking Tusky. But yes, the Eagles won. I'm very, very excited. But yes, I think that's a hyperbolic statement. But I will say, Twitch's problem is they constantly say that they are, hey, we're very family friendly, we're very safe, we care about our top streamers. And realistically speaking, the top streamers don't fucking care about each other either. I mean, like, one of my biggest complaints, and I know this happens even in, like, my space as well, is, like, it's like a dirty secret about all these things about Mizkif. A lot of people are now coming out with stories about Mizkif. We're going to evaluate, like, not necessarily the legitimacy of them, but kind of just, like, everything about them. And look at it, but it is very, very weird and very, very bizarre that is the case, that everyone has these allegations about Mizkif. And during the time surrounding the crazy slick stuff, none of it comes out. Now, I know specifically Emmy's comes a little bit later in that process, and I'm not saying that she's at any fault. The reality is that a lot of this comes in the aftermath of it. And it's like Cloudy said, yeah, why not did it not come out? That is always my weird thing. Gotta remember, OTK investigates itself. Mizkif steps down. A lot of people have now left OTK. I know Asmongold says that he's regretted ever platforming Mizkif, which is, you know, it is what it is. The hindsight is 2020, I guess. Emmy also left OTK at the time. They have allegations against whoever it is good to optically distance themselves from. Yeah, I get it. What do you mean, not what I said? I don't know, you're saying all these things. But yeah. OTK killed it on LSF at that time. Yeah, that's true. And that's the other thing, too. There have been allegations behind the scenes that OTK literally paid for LSF. And it's crazy to see. I said titty boob Fortnite streamer ASMR. I'm sorry, sweetie. What am I supposed to do with that? I can't, like, Thank you, Yen. I am very appreciative of your art. I am a little blorbo. Look at my little blorbo. Hear me roar. I am the greatest dinosaur. Thank you. Thank you, Yen the Yan. Lots of people are afraid to come out when the tides change because the predator people feel encouraged. Nothing strange about it. I would say that, but my personal opinion, tides changed years ago. I would argue that the tides changed years ago. This is not victim blaming. I want to make this very fucking clear. But people have been, Zaint is absolutely correct. People have been hinting about Mizkif being a piece of shit for years now at this point, especially when he came back. So it's just one of those things. I get it. I completely understand why it happens. It just sucks that it did in this instance. But without further ado, we're going to listen to Emi's statement. So for those who were here last night, Emiru's statement precedes the statement that we watched from Mizkif. A lot of people were like, hey, Mizkif answered in a way that Emi obviously surmised. I would play devil's advocate and say, yeah, he's gonna respond that way because these are the things that she's highlighting. I hear there's a lot of evidence within these allegations. There is a lot of screenshots that we're gonna be going over. So without further ado, let's cover Emiru's statement against Mizkif.
So, I mean, you guys can probably tell, but today's not gonna be a normal stream. Not gonna, watch videos or play games or anything today. I kind of just have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about, and then I'm probably just gonna go offline after. But yeah, it's, I mean, you guys know, I've been streaming for 10 years. Last week was kind of the first time that I ever really, spoke about a topic or, something that happened to me. And honestly, I'm really glad that I did, and I'm proud that I did. And, I feel like I have to see it to its conclusion, if that makes sense. Not just for myself, but for, in a way.
This was Emi's Stories to Tell. Asmin's recent comments about Miz make it clear that she was preparing to speak on it in retrospect, but I think a lot of people didn't want to cause her issues. Yeah. No, I understand. I think I said this last night. It is incredibly important to come out when you are able to. Especially, you don't want to break a story without victims. Diesel and I spoke about it last night. It was, for those who don't know who the journalist Jason Schreier is, with the Blizzard allegations and the expose he wrote, there is a level of responsibility that you have to manage when coming out with allegations like this, or any kind of investigative journalism. Are the victims involved? What is their level of involvement and their level of safety if these come up? But that's how it is. If you were in Emi's shoes regarding the assault at TwitchCon, how would you have responded? I would have fucking called. I would have been like, Dan Clancy needs to come now. Dan Clancy needs to fucking come to my dressing room now and address this fucking live. Personally speaking, I would have had Dan on the fucking phone. I would have been like, Dan, get the fuck on the phone right now. Legitimately. I wouldn't have fucking played around. If I was in Emi's shoes, I would have fucking been like, no, Dan's gotta be on the fucking phone right now. Actually, motherfucker, show the fuck up. Show the fuck up. You say that we're fucking friends? You say that you care about streamers? Show the fuck up. Don't give a softball fucking interview with Taylor Lorenz. Listen, I don't fucking usually care about the politics shit, but don't give a fucking softball interview with fucking Taylor Lorenz. Actually face the person who the actions happened to and be accountable to them. Don't fucking meet with a fucking reporter who fucking is cutting their teeth on streamer news. Come on. Actually go there. I don't think Emi has the temperament, but it seems like her manager might. Yeah, the manager, I would have flipped the fuck out. I would have flipped. Also, and go lie, I'll be kind of 100 on this one. I probably would have fucking beat the shit out of that guy. I'm gonna keep it a buck. If like, if some motherfucker tried to grab me and I had security, oh, we would have just tag teamed the motherfucker. Like, I'm not even fucking playing. It would have been a problem. He would have been fucking bloodied by the end of it. Like, I wouldn't have given a fuck. And I would have been like, well, you assaulted me. What the fuck do you want me to do? Like, actually, what the fuck do you want me to do? I would have fucking, like a fucking JoJo stand. Me and my fucking me and my fucking security are beating ass. Like, I ain't fucking around. Like, don't fucking touch me like that. And like, it's on our docket. We still, here, I still want to cover the stuff with that Pokemon YouTuber because he's openly talking about, like, he has these fans, some of which are underage, some of which are like younger than him, like obviously younger than him, that are groping him. Like, it's not okay. It's not fucking okay. What would Dan do? Did you see the veteran asking him about stuff in his orbiters, and the vet stand just mouth mushed? Well, that's the problem. The problem is Dan puts himself in these fucking positions, and he says that I'm these streamers' friends, right? And we've all kind of talked. I've talked about it that it's a failure on Amazon, on Dan, on the venue too. The venue has its own security, probably, as well as its own policies and procedures. That venue failed her as well. That venue failed her. But it's not enough. It's literally not enough. You can't, as a company, as a fucking CEO, chum it up with all these rich motherfuckers. And then when something bad happens, like, not be there for them. Because you're selling it. If Dan was like, listen, I'm distanced from this shit. I'm not a part of this. I'm not their friend. I'm not this. I'm not that. Fuck it. Fuck it. But that's not what he does.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of people are involved because it doesn't just affect me. So that's why, sorry about my voice. I'm very, very nervous in case you can't tell. But I knew that this stream had to be done today. So yeah, pretty much, yeah. So I guess might as well get started. Not, stall too much or anything. I know there's a lot of people here who don't normally watch, and if you're wondering, yes, I do normally run 20-minute intros. And yes, my community at least claims that they like it. I think that they like it. I like playing songs for you guys, but anyway, yeah, anyway. We don't like it? Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, I'm probably gonna stop reading chat now as well, but you guys are free to say whatever you want, obviously. So, yeah, like I said before, It's been a pretty crazy week, and a lot of things have happened since the last time that I streamed in relation to what I talked about last week, the whole TwitchCon incident. Some other things happened that kind of pushed me to talk about a lot of things that I want to talk about today. So, as you can see, I wrote out my notes, and not only that, I have even more notes. So, yeah, if it seems like I'm, like, reading a script or something, it's because I wrote super detailed notes because...
You should always read from a script. Yeah. So if I'm clear, Dan equals Mizkif. No. Dan Clancy, CEO of Twitch. Mizkif, completely different person.
Because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, so... Yeah. Okay. So, I think everyone knows about last week, the stuff that happened at TwitchCon. I was assaulted, and the guy was able to, leave the venue, basically. Okay, so, like, intro, first thing that I want to talk about is, I did see the, Twitch tweet that I believe went out yesterday. I was literally in a Discord call with my friends, and they were like, did you see that Twitch apologized to you? And I was like, wait, what? So, yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, they put out that tweet. I was never apologized to privately. They put that out without, like, consulting me or anything. I didn't know that they were gonna do that, so that was, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that, they're trying to, like, take some level of accountability, but there's a lot of things that they didn't mention in the tweet that I feel like should have been mentioned. But anyway, more stuff's been happening behind the scenes. So, I want to say that last week, everything I said on my stream was accurate, obviously. obviously, except for one thing. I was wrong about one thing. I was going over the tweet that Twitch initially put out, where they're like, oh yeah, this thing happened to a high-profile creator, you know, police were on site, we're cooperating with law enforcement investigations. What I was wrong about was, they were not cooperating with law enforcement investigations.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm glad that we're fucking... Now I'm curious. Now I'm fucking curious. Though, I would like proof. Remember, this is alleged, but I would like proof of this. But I don't see why Emmy would lie. Especially because, like, this is... Like, this is a moneymaker, and technically she has a contract with these people. So this would be fucking insane.
I found that out on Monday when I got a phone call from the San Diego police, and they were talking to me, and they basically said, hey, we can't really do anything right now because they apparently know the name of the guy, but they're not giving it to us until a warrant goes through. Which, if you know anything about that stuff, it usually takes a while. Even, you know, if it's expedited, which it was being expedited for me, but it still takes a lot of time. And they're like, yeah, they're refusing to give us the name, which, as far as I'm aware, is like a very common company thing, where they'll be, you know, they don't want to give out names of potential people involved in crimes because then, like, that person could maybe, like, sue them for giving their name to police. I don't know, something like that.
If I had to play devil's advocate, it probably has to go through a legal department.
Instead of eating fried chicken, eat grilled chicken. Instead of eating candy, eat grilled chicken. Instead of drinking soda, drink grilled chicken.
I saw this meme today. Thank you, Gilla. I shouted you out today, by the way, actually, you fuck. Like, so the problem is I can see as a company, they have to go through a legal department. But I'll be very honest, and again, this is where Dan Clancy, foot in mouth, motherfucker, you are being actively shit on for doing absolutely nothing, not helping this person, not going through the proper steps and procedures, not holding this person, because they can, like, it's not a fucking citizen's arrest. Like, for instance, right, if you get caught shoplifting at a fucking Target, for instance, we've all seen the body cams, the fucking Target, like, fucking brand safety officers, whatever the fuck whatever those fucking people are called, they can fucking detain you. They can make attempts to detain you. So it's like, there are so many issues with, like, you already have so many fucking issues with it. Why would you not extend that further? Like, why would you not just expedite this? Asset protection. Thank you, Layla.
What my lawyer said.
Loss prevention, asset protection. Thank you.
But basically, they were, Twitch was trying to make sure that the guy that assaulted me didn't sue them, which meant that the police were not able to work on the case right away. So, yeah, I got a call about that on, I believe it was Monday, from the San Diego police. They were like, yeah, we're working on the warrant, but, like, right now, that's, like, all we can really do, but, like, we're trying our best, just, like, want to let you know, we're gonna keep you in the loop and everything. I was like, okay. I was very frustrated because I was like, damn, like, I didn't know that on Saturday. I would have said that if I knew. And then, I believe it was the next day, there was someone who, I don't know if they were a viewer or if they were just someone who, like, knew of the situation from social media. They contacted, my manager, and they basically told her that at their place of work, someone came into their work who matched the description of the guy, and this person was saying, like, oh, I'm, you know, traveling to Texas, and I caused, like, quite a stir at a TwitchCon, and this person, like, you know, reached out to my manager, reached out to police, San Diego police interviewed them. But basically what I'm trying to say is because all this stuff was delayed, this guy was able to get really far away from San Diego, allegedly, and this whole time my manager was, like, basically, like, begging Twitch, like, dude, like, please give us his name, like, we don't know who this person is. Like, for all we know, he, like, lives around where Emmy and her roommates live. Like, I can't, like, help her if, like, I don't know who this person is, and they were refusing to do it. But, after that tip from the person who said that the guy came into their workplace and was talking to him, my manager, demanded the info from Twitch, So they did end up giving it to police, but not my manager, as far as I know. She still doesn't. Yeah. So,
yeah, I don't. They gave it to Twitch, not the manager. I don't know if the okay. To be fair, I don't know how much the manager is entitled to. To be fair, I don't know how much the manager is entitled to regarding that. I don't know what kind of contract they have. I don't like at this point it becomes a litigation issue. However, like this is fucking disgusting. Like it's not fun.
Falgi now opening his talent agency.
No. Metal Man, thank you for the 5, but no. I would much rather support my friends and the artists in our community and get like t-shirts and stickers running, which I want to do. That is my goal for the end of this year. My goal for the end of this year is starting to get some artwork and like merch out. That's my goal for the end of the year of 2025, 2026. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I would like that. But like, I don't see why Twitch doesn't just file a report directly. So from what Emmy is saying is Twitch is apparently working with the San Diego Police Department, but very slowly, incredibly slowly. And that is a problem because of how time sensitive this issue is, because he is actively leaving. Like, he's actively leaving. And so he could be fleeing the country. He could, like, quite legitimately, it could be like a game dude situation where he fucking flees the country. What the fuck are we supposed to do? Hold up. Actually, mine came out. Oh, no. Hold up, chat. Uh-oh. What happened? What happened, little guy? Oh, no. Huh. Fascinating. My, my Space Marine. Where does arm go? Huh. His arm fell off, too. I had a Space Marine. His arm fell off. I don't know where it went. And his, his leg broke. The arm must have just fallen off somewhere. It happens. I can always get another one. But yeah, like it's so incredibly weird. Yours is fine, honey. Mine somehow is missing an arm now. I don't know what happened to the arm. But it's fine. He lost it in the war. He's cool now. He lost it in the war. But yeah, like it's just like this is so fucking bizarre.
Investigation's still going on, but it's like been a huge mess because of all of the delays and like refusal to work with the police. And yeah, it's
what legion is he in? Hey, Sin, what's up? Specifically, we just made true blue like true blue ultramarines. Just cause like that was like it was my first time making Space Marines and stuff like that. I have a couple different kits. I do have like Space Wolves and stuff that I do eventually want to make and paint and things like that. Get that Marine and augment. Yeah, I'm meant to. Yeah, sure. Honey, we were not on the same wavelength today because you're not in stream.
It's ongoing. I can't like say too much about it. Like all this that I'm saying, obviously I like ran by my lawyer and stuff. And I do want you guys to know that Melissa has been making sure that, you know, me and my roommates, who are obviously other pretty well-known girl streamers, that we have been safe here, paying for like security stuff, making sure we're protected. Again, my manager's been taking care of that all her own. Twitch did not offer anything like that. Yeah, that's where it is right now, pretty much. I can't say like too much about what, you know, me and my lawyer are doing, but my hope is really that there's some kind of like public resolutions that people who like have seen this and like know about everything that's happened can feel better about it. Because like I said, I don't feel like it's just about me. Like it could have been anyone that it happened to, like a small streamer who's not as lucky to have the resources or like, you know, the reach that I have. So it's very scary. And yeah, just very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I get why she's frustrated. Like, it is incredibly frustrating to see continued like failures of a legal system, and because like I hate to say this like in the weirdest way possible, but like the reality is if you live in America or you live anywhere really, it's not just an American thing, you know that police move faster for the rich. That is like I don't mean to soapbox it for a second, but it is like a reality, right? And the fact that it is like pulling fucking teeth from Twitch to at least help her as she got assaulted at their own event is insane. It's just bar none insane. Not exactly a hot take, thank you.
And yeah, I don't know where that's gonna go. I'm sure that, you know, they're probably, I would speculate, not very happy with me for talking about all this, but I feel like it's not fair to keep it hidden from all the people who literally had to witness it because of Twitter and Reddit and all these things. I mean, I'm not complaining about that, obviously. You guys know I was super grateful that the guy posted it, got, you know, spread around, so that...
Gamer, no. No, but I don't think a lot of people would have. I'm being... But that, it's not because of Twitch, it's because she's the victim. If she, as herself, and that's the thing, right? From what I understand, Emmy is Asian, not white. I can't believe I
didn't have to figure out how to talk about it myself, but yeah, I'm just, it's a lot. It's been really heavy this week, but obviously I've been getting a lot of support from my friends and other streamers, and obviously my manager, the people that I work with, my
part German, part Chinese. There you go.
Employees and such. But yeah, I don't want to just let this be a thing that I think that they're hoping it just blows over and gets like swept under the rug. I'm not gonna, you know, go live every stream and complain about it like, oh, you know, I got done dirty. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna try to the best of my ability, keep you guys updated until there's like some kind of resolution, you know, so. Yeah, pretty heavy, intense stuff. Yeah, it's been, sorry, I'm just looping myself now, but yeah, I would hate if like this kind of just went away.
I would say like the one thing I will say about some of these responses that I don't know, would really love if you don't do this with a chat. I get that you're making a public statement. I would just love not doing this with a chat. That's my personal opinion, but it is what it is. Wait, shots fired at Tectone. I don't even know what the shot fire at Tectone was. I mean, I don't like the guy. I don't know if any of these people like them either, because a lot of people don't really associate with him either, but I'm curious what the shot fired was.
And people were like, oh, what happened? You know, I don't know. You know, am I gonna go to TwitchCon next year and, you know, like if something happens to me, it's gonna, you know, they're gonna try to hide it, basically. Yeah. So, there's that. Give me a second. I have some more stuff I want to talk about, but I'm trying to not rush myself because I'm trying my best to, like, you know, stay.
I don't think that was a. I'll be honest, Rach. I don't think that was a shot at Tectone specifically. I think she's just saying that she's not going to make this like a part of her brand. She doesn't want to be remembered as like a victim. She just wants to like fucking stream again.
Compose to the best of my ability, so that I can get the information across accurately. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for, you know, support and stuff. Like, honestly, it's been shocking to me, because, I don't know. I guess, like, whenever things happen, I always just kind of expect the bare minimum outcome, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I've just been very, very thankful. Very thankful and, very grateful, and, I hope that, you know, whatever comes out of this makes other people feel better. But regardless, like I said, I'm done with, going to TwitchCon, probably done entirely with, convention streams. I feel like it's just time, you know, and, I think that's probably true for a lot of streamers. The climate has, you know, really changed. I've been on Twitch for 10 years, like, you know, I keep fucking repeating myself recently. And yeah, it's changed a lot, gone pretty big. And I think that's just, you know, the reality that you have to accept.
Yeah, it's just like, it sucks. Like, what she went through sucks. What she went through sucks. Like, Twitch is a company. They don't really care about people. It doesn't matter how much they will say they care about people. When it comes to the company's specific investment, which is not the streamers, it's the platform. You have to remember that Twitch isn't invested necessarily in the streamers. Twitch is invested in the platform. And the fact that like they don't care about their top streamers is very evident. Like, listen, it's the same criticism I would throw towards YouTube for instance. YouTube doesn't give a fuck about me. I'm not a top streamer. YouTube gives a fuck about like a Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast has the money to throw back at them, right? Like, Mr. Beast can go bar for bar, but that's just how it is. But they want to protect their investments as well. And it's kind of interesting to me that Emmy is, while a top streamer, they don't care about her as an investment. It gets very interesting.
But, you know, maybe it's not a bad thing, because, you know, you can go back to rotting playing games in your room. It's not so bad, right? Retirement? No. Not retirement. Definitely not. Because I'm the kind of person, I'll never give up. You're not going to make me give up. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Fortunately, I'm not done yet. Like I said.
Okay.
That just give me a bit. Was worried you're gonna quit? No. And I don't think I'm gonna go to any other platforms because, I mean, first of all, where would I go? And second of all, I really think that, you know, this is something that was just, I mean, this is just me, you know, being optimistic, but I feel like it was just a case of like, you know, we didn't realize that these things could happen.
Girl, no. Girl, no. 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 The company doesn't care about you. Where would I go? YouTube exists. Diversify your platform. You have a 1 million sub YouTube channel. No. I think, listen, I get it. YouTube is not the best for a lot of different reasons. I like using YouTube. But like, girl, don't do this. I wouldn't go to Kick, personally speaking. Her audience would not like her if she went to Kick, like straight up. Her audience would hate it, in my opinion. That'll be the problem. Audience is too little like woke scolds for that.
And we obviously don't want them to happen, and like, you know, things will be better. And I mean, I'm not gonna leave you guys because of, you know, something that someone else did. I mean, yeah, there's like other places that, you know, I upload content, but Twitch is like really my home. That's why, through all of this, I feel like most people, you know, I did make a tweet, but like it was probably like 10% of what I needed to say. A lot of people make a tweet, make a YouTube video. That's why I've chosen to do all of this live and like raw, because it's just what I'm most comfortable with and what I've always done. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, my like emotional voice is so ugly. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess she's gonna start transitioning into the Mizkif stuff, I assume. Again, the end of the day is like, this is just like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Having to leave a job that essentially made and broke your life is probably really tough. I would understand for a contract's point of view. But I'll be very honest. She has a platform to transition with. She has the fans to transition with. She's gonna linger for a few minutes and then we're off. Okay, let's see where we're at.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
Okay. In the interest of, does she say anything? Does she say anything more like? Does she say anything more with Twitch stuff? Because like I get it. It's not me rushing her. It's just like if there's nothing really with like the Twitch stuff, I feel like we could move on a little bit.
I just never thought things like this would happen, or I'd ever be doing a stream like this. It just feels very strange because it's just very
okay,
out of my element. I've never really like, for the most part, commented on drama or like.
Okay, thank you.
Self-inserted in situations, but I guess in this situation I'm kind of like stuck in the middle of it against my will. So it's like, if I don't do it, who else is gonna do it? I'm just gonna take a second. Sorry, I've said that like 4 times, but...
Hey, Embry, what's up? Jesus Christ, Axis with the 20. Fuck me. Thank you, brother.
Most big streamers on Twitch refuse to go to platforms like YouTube because Twitch, despite not caring about them personally, Twitch treats its larger streamers like royalty in terms of internal privileges.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% true. That's 100% true. And also, it's time to feed that pupper. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed that dog now on the Uplock stream tonight. Yes, everybody, it's a weird moment to do this, but it's time to feed that dog. I know you guys would complain if I didn't do it. So yes, if you want to feed that dog, all you got to do, hit the doobly-doo, reach the goal, subscribe today.
This is, it's a lot. I hate drama streams. Me too, man. Bro, like, I could have come home, I could have worked on beating Cinna and Clint's fucking Mega Bonk scores. Now look what I have to do. So fucking annoying. I had to cancel my plans. Which reminds me, I don't think there's gonna be a Halloween stream this year. I don't think that's, realistic with, kind of the vibes of things right now. But I mean, is anyone gonna be mad at me if I do, like, you know, like a Halloween in November thing? Or, I mean, there's always next year, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, things happen outside of your control. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's just crazy, but I mean, thank you guys for listening to me talk and complain. Okay.
Okay, so like, this is like a real question. Do we have like Emiru fans in the chat? Because I see people like actually like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing, girl? Come on, up. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. She was fucking licking a power cord. I don't know why she was doing that. Do we have like Emiru fans in the chat? I don't even know.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, it's not place. This is where she sleeps.
The next thing, at the end of my last stream, I said that when I got home, I would be talking about some other things that I really did not want to talk about, but I feel like those things develop.
Beware doggo, lighting strike incoming. Run pupper.
I hate you, Kairaz, but thank you. No, she like was sniffing around and like I don't know why. Because I took her out before I streamed, so
Developing independently of their own from the TwitchCon incident. Have gone.
I did see it, Blue. Thank you. We'll probably view it later. Obviously, if you have your stream art, shit like that, we'll probably view it later.
To a point where I kind of feel like I have no choice. So I've already seen a lot of people speculating about what I'm going to be talking about, and some people have been right, but even for the people who were right, they were only like 5 to 10% right. I don't think I've seen a single person online who knew or understood the severity of what I want to talk about today. And I want everyone to be aware that I've been handling the situation very seriously, and I've spent a lot of time thinking this over. And not only that, I've been in contact with a lawyer. I had them review everything that—
straight up, good start. Always have a lawyer, like in these instances, have a lawyer. If you can afford a lawyer, grab a lawyer for these instances, because this is industry stuff. Like this is a lot. Like, this is a lot. So having a lawyer is a good start.
Planning to say today, because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right, because it's so serious. And I feel like it's going to change things forever. And so today, I'm finally going to be opening up about and telling everyone. Sorry, I swear I'm not trying to like make this dramatic or something. Like I said, I really wish I were not feeling like I had to do this. Just give me some time.
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing a lot of I guess you could say like fourth wall breaking in a way, and talking about things that I thought would always be personal, and just, you know, I would just carry them myself. Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me.
That's a lot. This is so she was live yesterday, Sci-Fi, and she publishes today on her YouTube channel. Christ, that's a lot. Obviously, allegations. Obviously. I have not seen this before. I haven't pre-watched this. I know that Emmy's going to present a lot of information. But Jesus, this is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot.
And some of these issues, which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I've attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself.
And for those who don't know, we did watch Mizkif's response yesterday, and he confirms some instances and then talks around others and throws out his own allegations against her. It's a lot of people are pointing fingers right now, and again, those are equally the allegations that he puts against her are also allegations.
But
we'll get
like
there.
I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done. And I have always believed in not condemning people or starting drama online. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking, why am I doing this and why now? And I would like to explain that before I get started, so that people understand what prompted me to do this today, and that it's not just on a whim or something like that. Okay, so like I said, I took a lot of notes, so forgive me if I just end up reading off my notes. The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago about withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger of being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it. And 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, and someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter.
So, Emmy is alleging that Mizkif, she heard this from a third party, that Mizkif either financially abused somebody, threatened somebody, blackmailed somebody, or sexually assaulted them. I hope, again, I really hope that she has not only evidence of that, but they also have evidence of that, or they reached out to that person if possible. If possible, if that person was assaulted by Mizkif this year, I hope and pray that if it's all copacetic, they go to the police and they file a police report. Because these are very serious allegations. And especially if this person's not a public person, but a private, they're not a streamer, maybe they're not even in the entertainment industry. Like, that's very, very serious.
And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything. I think that most issues and dramas should stay private and off the internet. And I still hold that belief to this day, and I will hold that belief going forward. However, there are certain things that cross the line, and I say that the line has been crossed too many times to be count. There's a point where I believe that people deserve to know.
Okay.
I think that at a certain point, if you know a lot of things about someone and you don't say anything to look out for others, it's wrong. It's wrong to keep it to yourself. I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this because I can't hold on to it any longer because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation.
Okay. Okay. That is a heavy accusation. Would potentially fall in line with what Adriana Lee has alleged, that so for those who don't remember, so for those who weren't around for the time, I don't have I have the videos prepped, but I don't know if we're gonna have time because this is actually like really, really far. This is gonna be a long stream. Mizkif covers for his friend Crazy Slick and the sexual assault allegations for years until it comes out. What is alleged, and he won this in court from what I understand, is that Adriana Lee alleges that Mizkif systematically took the steps to dampen, hamper, and ruin her streaming career within the Austin, Texas space. So this is like a weird thing for those who are not in touch with the streaming community of Twitch. So there were, at a time, because of obvious legal reasons, proximity to Hollywood, how you can get not only sponsorship deals, but warehousing and stuff like that. There was the Austin, Texas scene and the California scene. That's just how it's been. There were some people in Vegas, like Nevada, Arizona area, like in between and stuff like that. But predominantly, the upper echelon of Twitch lives in either one of those two areas. Mizkif and OTK, which was a company that he co-owned with multiple other streamers, was a part of the, quote, Austin scene. So that is what Adriana Lee states. Now, I'm hearing reports that Mizkif has moved to LA now, which I find very bizarre and interesting for a series of reasons. But the allegation was, at the time, in the fallout of that, Adriana Lee sues Mizkif specifically for making the attempts to ruin her career. Now, from what I remember, he wins this lawsuit. He will say that he won the lawsuit consequently, that like he that everything against him is false. That's not true. He was never sued for hiding SA claims. His company internally investigated itself and found that there was nothing wrong with its own company, which is, you can say what you say about that. You fucking hire yada yada yada. And that he was not found liable for the ruining of her career, and that there was no proof of it. Now, Emmy is alleging through third parties that he has threatened this to her. Again, these are allegations. Does it fall in line with that? Yes, however, though. And those are some things we have to consider.
I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him.
Emmy also co-owned OTK, by the way, Felty. Yes, but for what I remember, that was part of her deal when she went in, when they snipped her up. Which I think is like what they do, is that they give people ownership. But like, I don't know how much about Mizkif it was.
Refused. At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan.
So, for reference, Mizkif actually confirms this. In Mizkif's statement last night, we watched it. He confirms that. He says, yeah, I went to the employee and told her if she speaks out. What the fuck are you doing? What the absolute fuck are you doing? And then he goes on and says like, oh, I'm so scared. I'm so worried. Listen, I recognize the innate fear and ability and want to protect oneself, especially if these allegations are untrue. However, he confirms some things in his own response that are very damning, very controlling, and shows a pattern of abusive or predatory actions within a relationship. And that's regarding Emmy. I can't speak to the other allegations that have recently come out, but we'll kind of get to those when we get to those.
And was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet. Okay.
Okay, so this is an allegation from Mizkif. We saw it yesterday. Mizkif has video evidence of a pen. Now I can't. So what is not confirmed, if it is the pen that Emmy used or not, we don't know. As of the time of recording, as of the time of this stream, we actually don't know. But there is a recording of a pen, of an animal pen with mites in it. Mizkif makes the allegation that she was a neglectful pet owner that resulted in the multiple deaths of rabbits. Now, I understand that apparently rabbits are fragile creatures, and could potentially die of like fright or shock or some shit like that. I don't know how true that is. But I don't, there's a series of things, like you would need testimonies, which Mizkif doesn't prepare. He just says, my brother said this, which, okay. But like, it's like one of those, and again, that's an allegation that he brings forward. And it's also, and like Ivy Slice says, like, it is equally on him if that was the case and he was allowing this to happen.
So now that I've explained all the reasons why this took so long and why I made the decision to do this stream, I have a few more things I would like to get out of the way before I start talking about all of this. The way that I'm going to do this today is I'm going to run through everything from the beginning to the end to try to get across the story as accurately and fully as I can. And, hold on. I'm also going to be showing a few screenshots validating what I'm saying.
So we're going to be reading these screenshots over a period of time. Bear with me as I try to read them. I don't know the quality of them, so if there's any poor quality ones, we're just going to try to go through it.
I have more things, but this is what I felt comfortable using today, and I will be running through those later. Another thing that I'd like to mention before I start is that during my statement, I'm going to be mentioning directly the names of about half a dozen other creators who were present for certain things, and I want to say that none of these people did anything wrong. I'm just saying that they were there, and I've asked all of them permission. They all said that it was fine to include their names, but I know this won't stop everyone, but I ask people for the streamers that I mentioned.
So this is one. So I'm about to reference something, and I know it's going to probably blasé for people that say this, but like, this is why myself, Beckett, and other people were so incredibly upset by the way that KP and Emily handled everything. Emmy is, if it's all true, Emmy has gotten the permission of multiple streamers, multiple people, and multiple witnesses to this. And that's a huge thing. And it's such a big thing to do. She's gotten legal involved. She's gotten the permission of those people who wish to be named in her statement. And it is an incredibly important thing to do that.
Please don't go bothering them or asking them for more information. If there's something else that they want to say, they'll say.
And I do want to say this before moving on, because I see the discussion happening in the chat, and I kind of want to make it very real. Yes, mutual abuse happens. There is reactive abuse as well. Both people, listen, Emmy could have been a piece of shit in the relationship. She could have. I gotta sneeze real quick. I'm sorry, chat. However, and I do mean however, like, part of what Mizkif said could be true. It doesn't take away his actions. That's the biggest thing. If Emmy is as bad as Mizkif is alleging, it doesn't solve the punching walls that he has confirmed that he did. It doesn't solve the potential black eye that she suffered at the phone being thrown, which is now being debated if he threw it on the bed and it hit her in the eye when she was there, or he actually threw it at her. Like, that is the important thing, is that she could be a shitty person equally, and things could come out about her that people have, right? It doesn't make any abuse that she suffered any less real. It just means that imperfect victims exist. And we talk about it all the time on this platform, and I will continue to discuss that. Imperfect victims exist and should be recognized. Shouldn't be shunned for it. That's just the reality.
It themselves, so there's no point to go pester them and bother them about it. There are also streamers who gave me permission to share things that they relayed to me privately, but asked me to redact their names, which I, of course, did. And the last thing that I want to make clear is that not every person that I interact with or that I'm friends with knew the extent of all.
For the purposes of this stream, I'm just going to highlight this for a second. I will still feed the dog. I'm going to turn donos on mute for right now. You guys can still tip, do all the gift subs, do all the things that you guys actually do. But I'm just going to mute it just because of how serious this topic is. At the end of the stream, I will read everything. So if you want me to read a bunch of shit, go for it. Obviously, we have the Discord as well. If you want to join the Discord, do the doobly do thing. Thank you very much, Saint.
All of these things, and in fact, most of them didn't, and some of them didn't even know anything at all. I tried to keep things private with my close friends, but if anyone during the past year ever approached me asking questions, I didn't lie and I told them the truth. But yeah, I don't want there to be some kind of witch hunt, like, oh, you know, you knew and this. No, a lot of people, you know, didn't know everything or didn't know anything. Okay, I think that's all that I have to get out of the way to start. So, this is public information. I initially moved in. Sorry, I'm still sick, like I said.
Okay. Alrighty. Also, sorry if there's like dead air or I let her go for like minutes on end without responding. I do kind of want to understand what's going on, the level of allegations that she's saying, and give it the proper seriousness that I think that this kind of deserves.
This is all public, obviously, this part. I moved in with him, I believe it was the end of 2021, because he offered. I was living alone at the time, and I was having stalker issues in Kansas, and I mean, you guys know, like, all the stuff that happened there. I ended up joining the org and everything. We did a lot of streams together, and I mean, a lot of people already know this, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. We started dating. We were in a relationship starting January 2022, after I joined OTK. I'm not planning to go into too much detail about the start of the relationship because it honestly doesn't really matter at this point. It's irrelevant now. The only things that really matter that you guys need to know for the story are that it was, one, an extremely private relationship. It was even hidden from friends and people in the org, but I mean, obviously people all eventually figured it out. They're not fucking stupid. Okay. And second, it was an extremely codependent relationship, which it's not the issue, but that's just, you know, making that clear for details.
And it's something that I find incredibly interesting. I understand that streamers keep their relationships private for a variety of reasons, because they kind of, specifically like the female streamers. A lot of reasons are, listen, if they get into something that people get used against them, yada, yada, yada. But specifically for female streamers, it's very much idol culture. And for those who don't know a lot about idol culture, it's this idea that you then become like lesser because you are dating somebody, or like the eventuality, if you two break up, it becomes a whole big drama and things like that. It is interesting. I can't just sit here and say that I don't find it bizarre. But I understand that it happens. I am of the personal mind that I understand it's their private business. I understand if you're dating someone that isn't like your person, and yeah, like Blu Yokai says, they want you to be attainable. I always think that it's bad practice to keep something like that hidden for a variety of reasons. I understand regarding this instance, one of the issues is that I don't know how much of a legal issue it would have been with Mizkif's position at the org. I actually just don't know about that. Yeah, it's a money thing. I know that it's a money thing, but it's an extension of idol culture, yada, yada, yada. That's why I'm always incredibly grateful that before the stream actually became more successful, and before even streaming, Cloudy and I were dating, and it was very... We have this story, right? We have this... Cloudy has told this... I think Cloudy has told the story on stream, where Cloudy was like, oh, yeah, you know, we can keep our dating on the down low, yada, 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 yada. More just because, like, bubble boo-booey. And I couldn't keep it quiet. Immediately, I couldn't keep it quiet. And I couldn't. And I wouldn't. I don't like that personally. But I'm very grateful that I met Cloudy before all of this, because A, I couldn't do this without her. I'll be very honest. I could never do any of this without her. But B, I don't feel the same, like, I don't understand the same pressure. Like, we don't have the same pressure like this. So you skip over the reason why I said that, okay, make me look. No, you're not looking bad. You said it for the correct reasons. No, you said it for the correct reasons. I'm not saying that you look bad. All right, listen. No, you don't. No. No, it was very verifiable why. I recognize why. But like, I couldn't do this without her. So like, I recognize that. All of this to say is that I fully recognize suck my fat nuts. I can't, come on. It's fucking, I can't anymore. I'm gonna shut up.
He initially portrayed himself to me as someone who was very nice to girls and wanted to help me feel safe from stalkers and wanted me to succeed as a teammate. And we grew very close over time, and I was very dependent on him for feelings of safety, social life, like my stream, my job, everything. So yeah, besides it being a very codependent relationship, the start of it was fine. I saw a lot of people mentioning this. They thought this was what I was going to talk about. It's not a secret. I think everyone who paid attention knew that he was very controlling over what I wore, to a degree, who I was friends with, and even when I would stream. So when
This is he confirms this, by the way. This is like a weird thing. He also confirms this. So Mizkif's response to this was, well, she was getting stalkers, so I had to control her. Essentially is what he's saying. Very bizarre. It's from a place of insecurity, and I understand the insecurity. I know that when I was younger, I was there. I could definitely see that I was there when I was much younger. I definitely not that now. A, because Cloudy would beat my ass, and B, I love her and everything that she wears. So why the fuck do I give a shit? It's such a misguided thing to literally think, because like the problem is that, and shout out to Cloudy because she put a lot of it in the Discord, and I'm gonna probably be picking that up. There's evidence of Mizkif over the years saying that he's incredibly competitive, incredibly controlling. There's a joke about narcissistic personality disorder, even between him and Emmy. There are red flags. I don't know what to tell you. There are legitimate red flags that present a pattern. Yeah, they're clip chimps, but they're not great.
It was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruise very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always, you know, was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an accident. Like, you know, of course I'm not gonna think that, you know, he's, yeah, I just, at the time, I just kind of was, you know, I just brushed it off. And looking back now, I feel like that was kind of the start of him testing my boundaries, if that makes sense. So that was already kind of starting to show signs within the first 6 months of me and him being close. And then,
so Mizkif says that this happens later in the relationship. He contests that this happens later. He contests that he never threw anything directly at her. What Mizkif contests is that he threw the phone on the bed and it may have hit her. But like, if it's a legit accident, it's how you apologize and it's how you would move through that and kind of go through like this isn't streamer bullshit. This is like this is like a real relationship shit. And if what she's saying is true, this is real abuse. Like this is abuse, right? Like if everything she's saying is true. And yes, we'll get to the speeding thing, because the speeding thing I think is the most egregious thing that I've ever heard.
again, a very public situation. The end of 2022, the cover-up allegations happened. I mean, yeah, like I said, all that's public. You can find all that, see like what I said during that, everything. After that happened, his behavior started getting a lot worse, which, I mean, I suppose it makes sense. You know, he was very stressed. A lot of stuff was happening, but the bad behavior was ramping up, and I feel like it's so apparent if, like, you know, you go back and watch anything from that time. I tried so hard to help him and be there for him because I really believed in him, and I wanted him to, you know, get better and get back on his feet and be the person that, you know, I always believed that he was. But that, unfortunately, did not really happen. For a long time, I think about a year and a half from when that all happened, it was kind of like slow things getting worse. But I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna bother going into the details of all of that because there's just too much to cover, and it's honestly kind of not really relevant to the rest of what I'm saying because the rest of what I want to say is a lot worse.
I want to highlight, I wasn't going to stop for this, but I do want to highlight this. Twitch and frankly, content creation as a whole, as a platform, is so sexist and bad for women. I feel like a news story like this comes out every day. Yeah. I mean, like, the issue then also becomes that there are men and men coming out is a lot harder. I know that. I think Axis said it before, and I know when our Dramageddon streams comes up, it's going to come up again. James Charles. It is believed, the allegation, I personally believe the allegation that James Charles preyed on young boys. That's my personal belief. There's evidence that shows that. Those are men that were not believed. Those are men and young and teenagers that just weren't believed. So I think that you're right. I do think that there is sexism in the community, but I also think that, like, one of the other things too is there is a inherently, especially with these top creators, because of what they are selling, in my opinion. And I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's just the way that the platform is run. It becomes like they need to be wholesome. They need to be picture perfect. They need to be perfect for ads. They need to be perfect for this. They need to be perfect for that. And it is a problem. Like, I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. I don't particularly curb my language to be perfect. I like, fuck it. Would I love a sponsored stream or a sponsored video? Yeah, I'd fucking love it. I don't think that'll ever happen. Maybe, I don't fucking know. But I do think that when you're dealing with real people and real people problems, people should come first. And like, that's what I feel like the disconnect between, like, top streaming is that, like, they're constantly saying that people come first and they don't. And they sell that. And they sell that they sell it. And I think that that's actually part of the problem. It doesn't mean that it should be allowed. It doesn't mean that any partner should be abused. It doesn't mean that any of this shit should be swept under the rug. But that is a reality, right? Money gets involved and money matters. It's just how it is.
There was a point where things really took a turn for the worst. Like, it felt like, like a very delicate branch just kind of snapped. Mm. So, and again, a lot of people are, like, vaguely aware of this, but I'll explain it for people who aren't, chronically tapped into all that stuff. So for a long time after the, like, cover-up allegations happened and he was, like, starting to kind of struggle on his stream, he never wanted to stream at the same time as me. Like, we really avoided it. And to me at the time, it made sense because, I was like, well, of course, like, we share a lot of community members. If we're live at separate times, we're both going to perform better. It makes sense. But, yeah, we were never really live doing the same thing at the same time for a long time, with the exception of, like, things like events or sponsors or, like, just special things. Mm-hmm. For a very long time. And a lot of you guys probably noticed that I would only usually stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. That was, because of him. And now I stream whenever I want, but the first time that we ever streamed at the same time was for the 2024 Rust Kingdoms event on Twitch. We were sharing drops, so it was the first time in a very long time that we were both going to be live at the same time doing the same thing, basically. I know you're probably like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? But it'll make sense in a bit.
So before she says this, I believe, shout out to Cloudy because she's been killing it with this. See if I have it. Do we have the okay? So this is where's I saw the Rust coverage. Fuck, where is it? I actually did see that Rust coverage somewhere. I may have to look that up again, but someone published it on Twitter. The video of the Rust coverage. And let me see if I can find it. Maybe I don't. Maybe I found it. Because I might have found it. Let me go on X. Mizkif. Because I fucking hate calling it X. It's Twitter, but... let me see if I can find the Rust. Okay, so this is... This is a video regarding that. So I actually had that up from Yeet, but you know what? I'll fucking pull it up now and let's see how this works. Please don't copyright strike me for music. Let's go.
Chat, I'm excited. We got some stuff, dude. We're gonna start talking to people again. We're gonna hang out a little bit.
Got raw pork.
I'll fucking take it.
Would you like some raw pork?
Yeah, I'll fucking take raw pork. Hell yeah.
Enjoy.
So I thought, why not build a house up here?
I can pay rent in your house.
Okay, let's do it. Yep. Oh, wait, check this out. Come here.
Ooh.
Not bad, huh?
House?
So this is when the overtaking happens.
Wait, our houses literally look exactly the same.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah.
I want to see Emmy. I can't believe you guys are big separate houses.
Biggest sweats, you retards.
Come after you guys.
They're the
Wipe them out,
biggest
but we can
sweats.
stop them early.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it, dude. We'll join the resistance.
So the allegation is his demeanor completely changes. So you see it. Yeah, the baby picture shit is weird. It's weird. Like they do have like similar pictures. It's also bizarre, but that's the only thing either. But okay, so his demeanor changes because of it. Now, listen, I don't know how verifiable that is, but these are the clips surrounding it.
You're spelling it wrong? Yeah, my bad. No, I hardly slept last night. That's why I seem tired today. Because I'm honestly fucking tired, chat, I'll be honest. I'm pretty tired. I'm just tired. Alright, chat. I'll see you guys later. I will see you guys probably tonight, if not tomorrow. I just need a nap. I'm fucking zooted out of my mind.
What does unofficial Ms. Raid mean?
Guys,
Oh, he did?
Listen, why are we all acting like we haven't murdered? Like we haven't pillaged? Like we haven't had to do what we had to do to make it here where she had a one-hit advantage. She was coming after me.
So what you're hearing in the background is apparently him hitting things. So this is how angry he gets that he's going to start breaking things.
Why are we all acting like
apparently.
we haven't murdered? Like we haven't pillaged? Like we haven't had to do what we had to do to make it here where she had a one-hit advantage. She was coming after me. I had to attack back.
What the fuck is this?
Was that a test?
And apparently she's keeping calm during this. Like the noises you hear in the background. And it's interesting because like these, I actually had the joking conversation, but I wonder if it's true because like this guy threw himself into the gym. I wonder if drugs were involved. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually like legitimately wouldn't be surprised. I mentioned that he lost his hair, shit like that. I would not be surprised if some kind of like roid rage, like any kind of the like testosterone replacement therapy shit would be involved. Or any kind of drug use.
You said
Well, I have some cloth in my house.
This is him. And remember, at the time, from what I know, they have a doggy door between them. So this is him literally, allegedly, fucking a room apart.
Let me check my body real quick. Did anyone boot me?
Yeah. Go to the restroom real quick. I'll be
There
right
you go.
back. Yeah, she's trapped now.
Fine, look what I did.
Sick, okay, sick, okay. I'm stuck in here. Okay, sick.
I'm gonna make some steps.
Hello, sorry. It's like 20 minutes. Oh. Hello. Avaragi, thanks for the sub.
And apparently, like, she'll talk about this. Apparently, she goes to comfort him or something like that. I'd have to see. Obviously, we're gonna hear her allegation. I did want to pull this up because this is part of it.
But all right, yeah, I'm gonna log out for now, but I'll probably come back later. And if not today, then tomorrow my normal time. So.
Okay, so this is an edit, obviously. So let's see what she says about this instance.
So, I'm live, he's live, we're both streaming, and like I said, you can go find all of this. This is public, there are clips of this. We're both streaming the Rust event, and I thought it was going really well. I thought everyone was having fun. I was like, oh, this is great, everyone's, doing the same thing at the same time, we're all hanging out, we're gonna have fun. Like, I was really, really excited. And then I start seeing in my chat, people start saying, unofficial Ms. Raid, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I check my Discord messages, and he's messaging me. He's saying, like, Emmy, I'm gonna kill myself, I'm gonna KMS, I waited so long for this, etc. Basically he was upset because I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership than him, and like I said, this is during an event. So there were drops, like everyone knows when there's drops, like it's not even fucking real, but yeah, he starts messaging me, he's really upset. I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, you should come back and play, everyone's having fun, everyone's like wondering where you are. But yeah, he ended his stream, and then I'm still live, trying to act like nothing's wrong. And in that house, I had a glass door, so I could like see this was happening. He was walking behind me, making sure that I knew he was there. And by the way, so there were many ways out of that house if he wanted to leave the house that were closer to his stream room. He intentionally chose the door that was right by my room. I feel like that's pretty apparent, at least to me. He starts walking behind my stream and slamming the door so loud that my noise gate can pick it up, so even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore. It didn't work for months, and it would just make this horrible sound that I would have to hear like every fucking day. But anyway, so I hear him back there doing this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I tell my stream, I'm like, hey, guys, I'll be right back. I get up and I go talk to him, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, Emmy, like, I hate all you guys. Like, all you guys do is just take from me. And like, I'm just done. Like, I'm just done. And I was like, is this like really happening because of rush drops? And he was like, I don't know what else to do. He was like going off on me, like basically saying that he hated me.
Can we talk about this for a second? Like, legitimately. I want to talk about this for a second. The difference is at the beginning, it's 19,000 to 23,000. And then it goes to like 30,000 because she gets raided. Who the fuck cares? You're all working for the same company. You're all working together. You two are fucking... If I got... I have said this, and this has always kind of been something for me personally. I've encouraged partners in the past for this, and I would do this even today, and even Cloudy can attest to this. If I felt so emasculated by my partner, that is a me problem. That is not a them problem. Especially, and I truly do mean especially, if at the end of the day, me and my partner are working together. Now this is, I'm gonna soapbox fucking enter something. I had this discussion with somebody in DMs. Like, I always do try, when allegations of abuse between relationship together, I do try to like bridge the gap for what a successful and meaningful relationship should look like. Doesn't mean that I fucking succeed every time. I just really hope that it comes across. If you are a unit together, like if you're like an actual unit, you should be so happy that your partner is succeeding even where you are struggling. And it's a very male-oriented testosterone thing. But yeah, females perform better on average in some of these places. Like, that's just a reality. You should be absolutely focused on that and want them to constantly succeed. Like, I don't, like, I don't understand this fucking maybe because I'm just older, but the fucking Mizkif's my age, like closer to my age. Like, I would want my partner to succeed at anything that they were doing, and I would give anything, and I do mean fucking anything, to make sure they succeed, to make sure that dream becomes a reality. And the fact that if this is true, that he is purposely doing this to upset her, to scare her, and to make it known that he is upset, which he has identified that he's incredibly competitive in many instances. Like, this is absolutely insane. If true, this is absolutely insane. Like, and from what we can see in the clip, it's looking like she's right. At this point, I have no reason to disbelieve her on this. And Miz doesn't disprove this. Miz doesn't disprove this.
And I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. And he was like, go finish your stream so that people don't know anything's wrong. And I stop in the bathroom outside my stream room, and I'm like, you know, checking my makeup, trying to make sure people can't tell that I was like crying. And I'm only in there for like 30 seconds, and he comes and like looms in the doorway. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just checking my makeup. So I go back and I stream for a couple hours, finish the stream, do my best to just like, you know, carry on.
Not there yet, Midge.
The show, basically. And yeah, after that, like I said, was when things started to get really fucking bad. It was like something just snapped. For the rest.
Ula, we went over his response yesterday. I will try to re-go over his response today. We'll get there. Because we also have a lot of clips. We have a lot of streamers that have reacted to this in the aftermath of all of this. So we're gonna go through everything.
The week he streamed the Rust event. He got all the drop viewers. I'm sure he was very happy. I mean, good for him. And during that time, I obviously was like thinking and processing a lot of what happened. But I mean, it was a lot because this person was at the time like kind of it was like my partner and my best friend and like the only person that like I really talked to ever, or like at least off stream. So I mean, it was a lot. But the very next stream, I went live about a week after that, and I announced that I was planning to move because I knew that I would have to move. So I was like, okay, I have to go live and say this so that, you know, kind of force myself to commit to it. Right? Does that make sense? Obviously, I didn't move out right away, but after like all of that Rust stuff happened was when the other domestic abuse stuff really started. Okay. He would destroy furniture.
I mean, if he's hitting you with a phone, right? I would say the domestic abuse started 6 months. If what Emmy is saying is true, which I have no reason to not believe at this time, the abuse started earlier, and it's she didn't see the signs, and that is rough. Like there's no fucking looking at it negative, negatively on her part. It is absolutely rough that she didn't see it that way.
In front of me, he would throw things in front of me and near me, destroy walls. Again,
If I threw my iPhone at Falji's face, it would hurt like a motherfucker. Yeah. Because I sure said I wouldn't throw my shit at you.
Can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom, the holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me. And at the time, he also would more often do things like...
You know what, like, actually kind of bothers me, though? What... Was she in the home? Were they in a home, just the two of them? Were other people in the fucking home? Because my question is, where are the other people in the home? Like, this is where, like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, aren't there other people in the home? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, if I'm physically seeing my friend abuse my other friend, I'm going to jail. Like, bystander, I don't give a fuck about the bystander effect. I am going to fucking jail. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying not to make like immediately definitive statements, but like, what about neighbors? They lived in like a big house. That's probably neighbors. They didn't have many. They didn't have many, to be fair. You gotta remember, these streamers, these top streamers, like, live in fucking gated communities. Very specifically, like, when you remember the Amaranth stuff, she lived in a gated community with security. In fact, you always have to remember that these are bad people. I know that's black pill. Yeah, no, I know. But like, this cover up is so fucking, like, again, if everything Emmy is saying is true, which there are parts of it that Miz doesn't deny. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't care how much fucking money the guy has, or if he can make or break my fucking career. I'll fucking film him. What the fuck is he gonna do? I'll fucking blackmail him. I don't give a fuck.
Going, like, if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like...
Now, this is actually an insane story. That Mizkif's response to this, he can go fuck himself. Absolutely, he can go fuck himself. Like, again, is all alleged, and I want to treat it as allegations, but he can go fuck himself because his response to this was fucked.
Things like going, like, if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour, and like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us. And this wasn't like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did a lot of the time. Like, one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food, and he was on his phone, and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video, and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
Imagine loving someone and they say, while going incredibly fast, and his excuse is, well, everyone drives like that in Texas. I have Texan people actually saying that happens, but that's not the point. Literally, like, even saying, well, I guess we're gonna die together. How the fuck do you respond to that? How the fuck does anybody respond to that? And Mizkif's like, well, I always drive fast. As a Texan, hell no, we don't. No, they don't. I lived in Texas. I have people contending this, but this is so insane to me. This is so, whether speeding is normalized or not doesn't really fucking matter. It's the statement, I guess we're gonna die together, that is so insane. And Mizkif's response to this is like, well, I don't remember the specific instance, but I drive fast everywhere. You don't know any Texans besides me and Lio? It doesn't matter.
And then at home, other things would happen. Like, I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that.
Allegedly, it was regarding a stream where Ludwig was invited by Mr. Beast after Mizkif and Ludwig had their falling out. I mean, if that's... Remember, if that lines up, Mizkif has openly said he would want to get back at Ludwig because he feels like Ludwig drove him to, like, suicide. So, hello, Greg.
Hey.
This is a stream. What's up, buddy?
Nothing.
I miss you. How you been?
I'm fine.
Well, let me put the thing up. Thank you for not letting me do this alone.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. It's a heavy stream. It's a heavy stream topic. It's a lot. So it's always gonna be a lot when it's this type of topic. This is a very sensitive topic. This is a very real topic. This isn't fucking make believe, in my opinion. Like, these are real things.
Oh, I've been watching. I was thinking how this is like the exact opposite of Emo Emmy's allegations, and like it's on her platform, it's her voice, or it's on her main platform, it's her voice specifically. She has texts. I don't know if she posts any of them here or what the context of that is, but she doesn't have like any past history of scandals involving like other people's relationships prior to it either. She doesn't let anybody else be a mouthpiece for her. She consults a lawyer.
Yeah.
She has a script. There's I'm not a fan of many streamers, especially just kind of like in content houses either, but I mean, I can't ask for more when it comes to like an allegation video / stream.
Yeah, I would agree. Like I said this before, this is the contrast is the reason why the contrast matters is because Emmy is presenting Emmy. They're both named Emmy.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
This Emiru is presenting her raw personal feelings. Now, do I? Would I have preferred a video? Probably.
Yeah. That's me personally.
That's me personally, because I think the stream has... Because it's always going to come to, can you turn the ads off on your stream? And if you didn't, people use that against you, yada, yada, yada.
There's also like an aspect of like, this is her primary, her primary audience too. This is where people primarily watch her. So I can understand that too.
Yeah. I mean, you could
play a video.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's ways to do it, but
yeah. But I understand why she did it. I do understand. That's just a personal preference. It's not like a knock on her.
No, that's fair.
Let's get back into this.
It was all my fault that he felt insecure. There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in, and as soon as he saw me there, he threw his phone at the dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better. So basically, I felt like I was kind of stuck in a loop where I felt like I had to constantly perform and like prove my value to not be thrown away. But at the same time, if I ever performed too well, I was gonna be punished for it. And it just felt like a very rough situation to be stuck in because, I mean, streaming is my hobby and my job. Like, it's a huge part of my life, even before, I met him and became like a larger creator. And I remember thinking all the time how it felt like he hated me, but he still wanted me around for his channel and like his thumbnails and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still before I moved out. There was a time where it was the tension in the house was so unbearable that I would sneak out and I would sneak into Esfan's house using my code. And Esfan didn't know why I was doing this. He saw me a couple times. I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna go take a nap in your guest room. He'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I would sneak into Esfan's house just to have some time of like peace and quiet. But eventually, he figured out where I was going, and he would go over to Esfan's house to keep telling me off. And there was a time that he did it, and I was laying in the guest room bed, and one of the roommates in that house had come to see like why I was crying, and they were standing in the corner, and he came in, and he was very physically aggressive. He was like, "Emmy, like, what are you doing?" Like, angry. And then as soon as he turned and saw this other person standing there, he instantly like deflated and changed his tone. He was like, "Oh, Emmy, I was wondering where you were. Like, are you coming home?" And that roommate like later asked me about it, and they were like, "What the fuck was that? Like, are you okay?" And I was just like, "Oh, it's nothing," because I felt like a lot of the reason that I didn't tell the people around me was because I felt like no one would understand, or even if they understood, it would just be a burden to them, because all of our streams and social circles and communities are so intertwined.
So this is like the reason why this is so heavy, and I think like specifically this, when it comes to any allegations of abuse, specifically like this, is Emmy is clearly identifying that she felt alone, but incredibly protective of him. And that is, it's just like, it's the trauma bond. Like, unironically, like we talk about it, right? She is worried about his self-interest as much as her own. And at a time, it supersedes it. Now, does it suck that like people find out by proxy and probably don't ask her like what the fuck is going on? Yeah, that sucks. And I'm sure that those people have to live with that if they truly didn't know or ignored it. I love how he immediately proved her right by doing exactly what she said that he would do, by trying to kill her reputation, by claiming she killed her rabbits and attempted to Darvo. For those who don't know, I mean, I'll just like look it up so people can understand what Darvo is for a second. Darvo. How do you feel so far, Greg?
I don't want to make jokes because that's normally our bit to get through some of this, but this feels like a really bad relationship that we are getting the sidelines for after the fact. I don't know the time frame on a lot of this, but you know, if even some of what she's saying is true, it's pretty rough. And you on the outside, when you hear, you know, if you're ever read stories online of people being in bad relationships or have friends that are in bad relationships, you always talk about like you're on the outside, you always immediately question, well, why are you still with them? But you know, it's always more complicated than that for the person who's in the relationship too, you know? So it's hard to really gauge how you would have reacted in scenarios in the same way, unless you've actually been in it, you know? And then on top of that, added pressure of being a public figure as well. I mean, not to discount, you know, the however much money they both make on their streams, you know, it's just, it's rough. And especially like, again, I'm curious on the timelines between this and like the most recent TwitchCon stuff with her too, because I'm just wondering like,
well, yeah, I know he confirms that he did
the confrontation between the
him and the
worker,
employee, which is pretty insane. Hey Lanza, what's up? Yeah, that alone is insane. Hey Lanza, what's up? So we're just gonna kind of identify Darvo real quick. I'm not gonna go to the bite method. Darvo, like we're not gonna again. If you are a victim of abuse and you're in the Discord, we do have like mental health resources. Obviously, please reach out to national abuse hotlines, things like that in your area, wherever you live, things like that. If you or someone you love is a victim of abuse, assault, and things like that, encourage them to reach out. Encourage yourself to reach out, even if it's just to talk to somebody. It's very difficult. Getting away from abuse, getting away from abusive relationships, things like that. Very difficult. And if you are somebody who is recognizing these tendencies in yourself that Mizkif may exhibit, go seek professional help. Seek it. You should not be embarrassed by that. that you need help with anger management, that you need help with insecurities. A lot of times you don't want to get it before it's too late. You don't want to hurt a partner. Seriously, you don't want to end that at that point. Something interesting that people may or may not know, men who experience depression obviously are express that depression and anger explosively, while women typically do it implosively. So women will typically do the anger and depression and stuff towards themselves, which kind of like ties into self-harm, stuff like that. Men on average will actually do it towards others, so that those feelings of rage and aggression may underlyingly hide depression and things like that and other types of mental health concerns. So if you are a guy, gal, non-binary pal who acts out in these ways and you understand that, go seek professional help. Seriously, go seek professional help. But let's kind of cover DARVO for a second so we kind of explain. So DARVO stands for Deny, Attack, Reverse Victim, and Offender. It's a three-step method of twisting accountability, originally coined by the psychological researcher Jennifer Freed. The DARVO process can look something like the following. Deny. The abuser vehemently denies the survivor's account of what happened. This can involve gaslighting the survivor to make the survivor doubt their own memory of events. The survivor may begin to question whether or not they're blowing it, quote, out of proportion as the abuser continues to minimize what they may be remembering that's happening. Attack. The abuser shifts the focus to the survivor's credibility and whether or not others, including law enforcement, should believe them. This could include bringing up past indiscretions, real or fabricated, in the survivor's past, questioning the survivor's mental health, and accusing the survivor of abusing drugs or alcohol, or asserting that the survivor is the abusive one when they are really the survivor who is reacting to the abuse that is being inflicted onto them. The abuser may insinuate that the survivor wanted what happened or that, because the couple is married, that the abuser couldn't have possibly been sexually assaulted by them. Not true. These things have happened. The end result is that the survivor feels bullied or disparaged into staying quiet, or may feel a sense of the abuse being their own fault. Trauma-related guilt. And then finally, the reverse victim and offender. The final step of this twisted manipulation tactic is for the abuser to secure their title as the, quote, victim and the position that the actual survivor is the offender. They might contend that the survivor may have some vendetta to destroy them. They might say that the survivor is lying in order to turn other people against the abuser, become more popular, quote, take away their children, or receive a large divorce settlement. The abuser might claim that they are a, quote, victim of the system, some instances the criminal justice system. They may use their socioeconomic status, race, gender, or gender to support their claim. All the while, the survivor's actual disclosure of abuse is overshadowed, and the survivor will end up spending more time trying to defend themselves, their reputation, than receiving help for the abuse. So that is when we discuss DARVO. That is what that systematic process is. Again, I'm not none of us here are psychiatrists. None of us here are couples counselors. I don't specialize in couples counseling or cult tactics, things like that. The reason I bring that education forward is identifying that people are going to see themselves in this. People may see themselves in Emmy's abuse. They may actually see themselves in Mizkif's claims as well. That is what it is. Just keep an open mind to everything that you're hearing.
I was like, maybe it's just better for me to deal with this and like hope things get better, basically. I honestly don't even remember what the final straw was that I finally was like, okay, it's time to go. Like, I prepared the house that I lived in before this one, like, pretty much immediately after the, like, breaking the front door thing happened, but I was still, like, scared and unsure. So I don't remember what the final straw was, but I remember the day I took Cheddar to the house, because he just randomly started, like, screaming at Cheddar was like, get that fucking cat out of my house. So I just grabbed Cheddar and put him in my car and grabbed his litter box and took him there, and I just left him there and never took him back to that house. And then I think like within several days after that was when I finally moved out. It was on very short notice. Like I said, I don't even remember what the final straw was because so many things happened, but there was a time when I just knew. I called some movers. I said, hey, can you come tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, and then I literally moved the next day. Moving out into the last house that I lived in was a huge step mentally because, like I said, a big part of why I moved into the first house in Texas in the first place was because I felt like it was the safest option for me because, you know, I am a girl where it's like kind of scary for me to be living alone. So it was very hard, and at the time, even though like all these other things had already happened, I was very hopeful that me and him could be cordial and like eventually like things would be fine, at least publicly, like for stream reasons, that, you know, everyone could just keep streaming like nothing had happened. And, you know, at the time I thought that would be the best thing to do, and I felt like if I, you know, separated myself from him without explaining anything, people that watched us wouldn't understand and would attack me. I was yeah, I mean, it ended up happening anyway, so, but yeah, after I moved out, we, like I said, still kept in contact. I had hope.
So, a couple different things. Again, we'll probably get the Mizkif's response as well, but for those who remember last night, Mizkif alleges that the reason that he was yelling at the cat is that for a period of time, Emmy's cat Cheddar would attack his own, Chompy, and he was very protective of it because it never stopped. So that is what he contends with this. I understand what she's saying regarding wanting to keep things copacetic, not only for streaming purposes, but like, and again, she's thinking of herself and him during that process.
That somehow things would get better. He would always beg for me to come back, and he would promise therapy and change, and like even talk to other people and like kind of present like, oh, I want to change, I want to be better for Emmy or whatever, you know. There was a short period in October where we had broken up because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter now. And when that happened, I honestly felt relieved because I was like, okay, finally, it's like on his terms, so that means he'll be satisfied and he'll be able to say it was his choice.
Okay, so she's alluding to what he said, that he is the reason that he discontinued the relationship, that he is why they broke up. Like, he said, I'm breaking up with you. Okay.
And he'll leave me alone. Because whenever I would try to push for it, it just felt like I couldn't like really sever it, if that makes sense. But I mean, obviously, hence me doing the stream, that was not the end of it. A week after this breakup, he asked to come over to my house and talk for closure. He came to my house, and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. He, so yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then, suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense.
So Mizkif, in his response, and we'll get to it, but I do want to highlight it. He contends with the fact that, I mean, he doesn't really even contend it. He's saying that he should have apologized. I don't even know what the fuck to say to that. Like, he talks about this specific instance and he's like, yeah, I ran out and never apologized because I felt like I did something wrong. Her retelling is slightly more, I mean, like, my whole thing is that his retelling of the events, his retelling of the events only supports hers. It only frames the reference of, well, I didn't know what to say and I should have apologized. Like, it's like there's no, it's like, you know what I mean? Like slightly doesn't really cover it. Like, it's and I okay, so what I would say is that like the whole like, oh, why would he kiss her if she was crying, playing devil's advocate, I've seen it. Where like two people are breaking up in a relationship, right? And there's a lot of raw emotions and they may want to get back together and they don't know, and so something happens, even if it's like, let's say if it's completely consensual. This, however, isn't that. According to Emmy, it is not consensual. The way Mizkif describes it, there is no consent actually given. And his response is, I should have apologized when she yelped. And like, yes, there are nonverbal cues of consent. We've talked about that. We talked about it in the Emu Emmy stuff and things like that, that there are both verbal and nonverbal cues. But like, it's so obvious that she is uncomfortable by what happened, and he runs away, and his response to that, in his own response, is, well, I should have apologized, and I'm sorry for not apologizing. But yeah, it's not that he doesn't recognize the hurt, in my opinion, in his response, but that is like my thing. And we'll recover his response when it comes to that. I didn't want to play the responses side by side. But like, in hindsight, he recognizes that it was a problem. So I don't know what to say, because it's not like, this is not like an oopsie, I did this by accident. Like, this is like, he recognizes even in the event that he did something wrong.
I felt like I'd caused trouble for so many other people if I ever said anything bad about him.
Mizkif framed it as she yelped. That's a minimization. I mean, he's going to minimize it anyways, but then he outright says that he like ran away and never apologized for it. So yelp, scream, whatever it may be, he recognized, like, he states that. And that's part of the problem is that there's no framing it as good. What he did is bad. What he did is very, very bad, in my opinion.
Or if I caused rifts in our friend group or streamer group, I tried to stay on good terms with him and hold everything in. And also, I still cared about him a lot. And I still at that point had hope that things would get better and that, you know, he would improve. And he'd also always hammer into me how he never physically abused me because he never hit me, and he would coach me.
Yes, yeah, he downplayed what was like a breach of consent. Exactly.
And tell me to tell people or other streamers who are asking about it, because they were coaching me how he never physically abused me because he never hit me, and he would coach me and tell me to tell people or other streamers who are asking about it, because they were concerned. He would say, tell them that I never hit you. Make sure that they know that I never hit you.
This is if true, this is so fucking in line what he like has done with like the Adriana Lee stuff, sending Maya Higa over there and like his friends to like calm her down when the Crazy Slick stuff first happened all those years ago. Like, insane. Coyote, she is confirmed. They both confirmed that they dated. Yeah, at this point, the bar's kind of in hell.
Around the same time, this was during OnlyFans 2, so I guess like December-ish.
So last year, I wish you gave years, but I'm assuming this is last year. OnlyFans 2 was last year, I guess.
He would often message me in the middle of my streams and berate me for things like playing the same class as him in WoW because he thought it would make people think that I was better than him. And again, like I said earlier, I felt like I was stuck in a constant loop where I had to perform well to not be thrown away, but if I performed too well, I was going to be punished. And I actually wanted to show some of those messages.
All right. Yeah, fun fact, threats of abuse, hitting walls, throwing things, still abuse. They might not be physically harming them by breaking things, but they're showing, I mean, okay, perfect example. Perfect example. Look what happened with Brad. Brad's actions, hitting things, slamming things, it still got him arrested. Remember, it's the audio recording of him screaming still got him arrested. It's still threats of abuse. And it
or it's not an arrest, right? It was
it was detained. He was detained.
They took him away from the home.
Well, no, the detainment
booked,
is a period
right?
of time, and arrest happens. The arrest doesn't always lead in the criminal conviction or charges.
But there's no arrest record, just a detainment record? Is that
No, there's an arrest record, but it's not.
Okay.
There was no criminal charges filed.
Right, okay.
Because that was what that abuse network, like the criminal network thing that we saw was.
Okay.
Because obviously a lot of these things,
So this is where we're going to get in the messages. I don't know if she reads them out. If she doesn't read them out, we will read them out.
yeah, I'm not gonna fully read these out.
Okay, so we're going to have to read them out.
Because I honestly just don't want to read them out, but I feel like I want to show them to like kind of show what I'm saying.
Okay, so Mizkif in November of last year, November 30th. This is between Emmy and Miz. Emiru goes on to say, but how do I know it's not just someone who doesn't follow, LOL? Yes, I'm still wanting to do DPS, but for dungeons I have to tank, yeah. Mizkif, yeah, you really don't, like, you don't. Emiru goes on to say, how can I not tank in dungeons? Mizkif goes on to say, you straight up don't have to because you're a DPS, question mark? Emiru goes on to say, my group didn't have other warriors. Mizkif goes, yeah, I know where this is going and I'm not dealing with it. I asked for a boundary because, and it's always crossed, you don't know boundaries. What fucking boundary?
Over a video game. Video game batteries.
Same day. Emiru goes on to say, question mark. Yeah, it's the same time frame. Wish it was a scroll, but it's the same time frame. How can I not tank as a warrior in dungeons? Because you're a tank. Because you aren't a tank, question mark, he goes on to say. Emiru, when I said I don't want to be the tank, I meant I don't want to tank and raid, which is true, because I don't know what I'm doing. Mizkif, you do not need to tank in dungeons, so I just... Mizkif goes on to say, no, now I'm going to get so much shit, non-stop. Emiru, don't ever pull aggro, question mark? Quote, Emmy is better, Emmy this. I can't have anything, Emmy.
And I am planning to probably post the VOD of this somewhere, so if, you know...
A continuation of that conversation, Emmy is better, you just take. Emiru goes on to say, I don't understand what you want me to do. Mizkif, not tank. Just that simple. Emiru goes on to say, what the fuck does that mean? Mizkif goes on to say, you already played warrior, and when I told you we were going to get compared. Emiru, don't pull. I'm still gonna pull aggro because I'm a warrior. Mizkif, no, you're not. Another warrior can tank.
You want to read this later? That's fine, I guess.
Same day. I didn't have another warrior in any of my groups today, and no warriors wanted to join. Mizkif, girl with 27k, couldn't find a warrior? You can every time. You just want to tank. I know what you're doing right now, and I'm not dealing with it. Emiru, there were no warriors asking to join. Why is it bad for me to pull in dungeons? So this is after their relationship is over, from what I understand. Mizkif, because now I'm going to be compared nonstop. Because now people are just going to say you're better. Because I told you were just the first, when you first told me you want to play warrior. And it's already happening. And you just don't care about this stuff ever. There's no boundaries with you.
And again, this was all happening while I was live. You can literally go find the stream and see me trying to...
Now we're the same class, same thing. Tanks. Emiru, dude. Mizkif, don't dude me. I asked for one thing with you. Don't be a tank. And now you're tanking. What can I do? Emiru, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Multiple question marks. Mizkif, don't tank. Yep, there it is. Mizkif, Emiru, I'm playing the game. Mizkif, tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate.
Deal with this while I'm live in the middle of a dungeon, trying to just play the fucking game.
Mizkif, that same day. Tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate, the criticism, you're worse than Emmys. Emmy is so much better. The people saying you're better in every chat. The comparison, since nobody will be on my side. Let me deal with it. You have fun. I asked you not to become a tank and you didn't listen. And now it's the classic, what was I supposed to do? I'm not dealing with this. And a bunch of like dots, a P. This is fucking disgusting. All right, listen, fuck it. This is abusive. This is, on its face is abusive. Like, this is, and again, if bro has his side of the messages, and how the fuck do you, like, either she has to be the most psychotic woman in the world. Like, yes, I understand we're not fully seeing her side of the messages, but like, this is such a child behavior to do that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's over a fucking game. It's over a fucking game. Like I understand that we aren't seeing all of her side of the messages. Maybe when they talked about this, they're saying that they talked about it. But like, what is this reaction? Why, if you two are such at odds, why are you engaging with her? That's my whole thing. We don't need to, since he's given his version. Yes, he has given his version that he would watch the streams and stuff like that. What he hasn't given is his side of the messages. That's what I would like to see. Because again, on its face, this seems abusive and insane. This just seems insane. There's no defending these types of actions. However, if he shows proof of that, I would like that. I wish it would have been nice if he did that last night. Even in his response, she doesn't sound half as bad. Like, yeah.
Oh fuck, I think I... Tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate, the criticism, the you're worse than Emmys. The Emmy is so much better. The people saying you're better in every chat. The comparison says nobody will ever be on my side. Let me deal with it. You have fun. I asked you not to become a tank. You didn't listen. And now it's the classic, what was I supposed to do? I'm not dealing with this. And like I said, you can go find the stream. But for context, I was playing Warrior in World of Warcraft in like a level 24 dungeon. It was like Silverpine. Like, it was just like, it wasn't even like...
Yeah, and remember, chat, she did say that she's not going to show everything. From my understanding, and probably lawyer's recommendation, they know that a lawsuit's coming. They know a lawsuit is coming.
It was like
Yeah.
dog shit gameplay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, so, yeah. Yeah, yeah, you can, read that later, I suppose, if, yeah, like I said before, hold on. I was constantly trying so hard to compromise with him because I wanted to.
And again, if Mizkif has the ability to show and prove that what she is saying is contrary to what we are seeing, because it's not like he doesn't. So Mizkif's response, he doesn't deny being a bad partner. He says that he was to her, and that he made her worse. But that doesn't necessarily downplay his actions towards her. And I think that that's like part of the weird instances with this is that if we're looking at it on its face, I would like to see the messages that show that there's a back and forth, that she is being as vindictive as he is. That's what I would personally like to see. Because I'm not going to sit here and say mutual abuse, yada, yada, yada. What I want to say is like, there's a reality that they both could have hated each other and they were doing this vindictively. However, in Mizkif's own response, he doesn't show that. And then he is like, Windaho, we already showed it. And there's other evidence. There's more evidence of him acting out aggressively at this point. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I legitimately don't even know what to say.
I wanted to be cool and I wanted us to be able to coexist in the same streaming sphere, but I felt like I could never win, and he hated my whole existence, like ever since that one stream where I had like a little bit more viewers than him. And he would say that it was my fault that his stream was dying because most of his viewers liked me, and whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because they knew that me and him were together privately. And he said if he would be able to hit on other girls and convince them that it was real, he would get his career back. That was like, started within the last couple of weeks that we spoke to each other. He started saying terrible things to me about other streamers in Austin. In particular, one specific streamer who, I know there's a lot of people that know he has beef with certain streamers. It was not one of those streamers. It was someone who, to this day, has been nothing but nice to him. He would say horrible things about this person, like about them in their stream, and it was very hard to listen to. And just in general, he would say horrible things about other streamers in Austin, like, I quote, "I hate everyone here. You are all useless to me. You're worthless to me because it does nothing for my stream anymore to collab with any of you." And him saying that was the final straw for me. The day that he said that to me about other people was the first day that I ever, for the first time, started to ignore his calls and messages. And because of that, he even threatened to come to my house if I didn't answer. But I did end up calling him back, and I spoke.
I am assuming that she has all of this cataloged. If everyone is using an iPhone regarding this, I believe iPhones like now catalog your fucking like, they like auto transcript your call. I know they auto transcript your voicemails. So I assume that these are cataloged. Obviously there's no proof at this time of these messages nor these phone calls, but we can only take it at face value that she has potentially cataloged them.
To him, and I basically told him that I felt like I could finally see things for what they were. And he started panicking, and he was super apologetic, and he was saying he didn't want to lose me, which wasn't the first time that he like did something like that and was like, you know, basically begging me not to leave. But that was definitely the most extreme time. Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, I always had the hope that things would be cordial, or that, you know, we could be fine with each other. So I agreed, and we agreed we were going to talk about all of that. We talked about it about a week later, and instead of apologizing for anything, he basically told me that he realized he needed to go to Japan and LA to get his viewership back up, and he was basically too young to focus on friendships and relationships.
So fucking weird, dog. Like, I don't know. Like people have falling out with friends. It happens. I've had falling out with friends. But like, it's just this incessant need for success, this incessant need to just never have fun, like this incessant need to one up your own partner. Like, I don't know. Like, it's such a Napoleon complex. It's so disorienting. It's so jarring. Like, I don't, like, I know people like in my personal life that are successful, family members that are very successful, but I've never like felt this such like hatred towards them. Well, actually, that's not true. Probably when I was younger. When I you know what? I can actually tell you when. I can tell you when. Because I can identify it. Actually, no one. When I got sick, with cancer, there's conphology mention. Greg, what's the cancer mention counter at this point?
I don't know. I don't count it anymore.
Thanks. I love you too, buddy. When I got sick, I definitely was like that. I had to stop school for a period of time. I was like changing my life path, and I was very like angry. And I was angry with the world and all these things. And I had to like fucking just like recognize that me being angry, and this is a personal thing. I probably should have gone to therapy at the time. And I had to like recognize for myself that that anger that I held was it was misplaced, because I was angry at everybody else, but who I was really was angry at me. I won't go into too much detail, but like, you know, I wasn't in the right space, and I have my own demons. I think everybody does. And I would act out probably on myself in ways that I probably shouldn't have. But I don't know, I never brought that to partners. I never brought it on to partners. I know I just didn't. And it's this idea that you just like put it there, and you just like you hurt people over it. And Mizkif has been, from what I understand, given so many opportunities to fix that. And I want to make it very clear, it wasn't, because I see people in chat, it wasn't like a timeout. It wasn't like a I hurt my own, like my body hurt me, so I hurt myself or hurt other people thing. There was a lot of other shit going on at that time. A lot of other shit. And the reality is that you can't bring that into a relationship. You can't put that on somebody else. And to the people who are in those types of relationships, I'm sorry, you can't fix somebody. I am a Captain Save-A-Ho. I cannot save people. Cloudy makes fun of me for this, and it's true. I am a Captain Save-A-Ho because I think in my mind that I can do that. And for me, it comes in like relationships, and not like necessarily sexual ones, but like friendships where I feel like I can bridge gaps and I can bridge things. Not speaking of the past year of streaming, this is just a reality. And I am of the belief that I can like bridge gaps. And I can't. And I have to learn that the hard way, and it sucks. But I recognize that that's a me problem. It's not a them problem all the time, right? It's like sometimes people are just bad people and you gotta let them go, in one way or another. But like, it's still something internally with me that I like feel the need to fix people, to make people happy. It's part of the reason why I entertain. I want to make people happy. But taking it out on your partner, taking it out on your friends, this constant need for validation from an audience, or this need to be better than everyone else, doesn't help anybody. Especially if you're being abusive. Like the allegations are being put forth. It just doesn't work. It's just crazy. And again, like, there could be evidence that Mizkif has that Emmy actually was a perpetrator of abuse. That could be 100%. Or he could have further evidence that his friends did abuse him in some way and did use him for social standing. That could also be true. But does that excuse the actions that he took? No, they just don't. They legitimately just don't. That's the issue, is regardless of he said, she said, it doesn't excuse his actions in the same way that I would say if there's stuff that comes out about Emmy or his friend group that is abusive or manipulative and things like that, it wouldn't necessarily excuse their actions either. It's just a reality. People are messy. That's just how it is. People are just fucking messy.
And it was I mean, despite everything, like I said, I still cared about him, so it was still hard. And I mean, it was like a mix of feelings, you know, like I was devastated, but I was also so relieved.
But Fauci, you can't go after the new Mizkif. He did nothing wrong. This is all the old. Yeah, I don't. No, not necessarily, because she's saying this happened like literally last year into this year. So what? The old Mizkif is still there, allegedly. Because the stuff at TwitchCon happened this year. What the fuck is old Mizkif 2 days ago? That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that he's like saying all these things. Like, I recognize I did wrong. I recognize I was a bad person in Austin. But like, that's not what you're portraying. You're not portraying that. Again, I don't think he should have streamed that. It was a very bad idea to stream it. He lets TTS go off. He does not sound well. The crying is always seen as a manipulative tactic. He should have just made a public statement, like via text, but that's just me.
But because of the past incidents during like other fights and times I would try to separate myself from him, past incidents during those times of him manipulating me into staying close with him and giving him more chances, sexually assaulting me, the abuse, and just him generally not being a very nice person. After that, I decided that the only solution and way for me to move forward, I made the hard decision, but I know now for sure the right one, was to finally completely cut contact with him. I knew it'd be very hard because our careers and our communities were so intertwined, but I knew that I had to do it and that there was no other choice. So I have not spoken to him since January of this year. It's been 10 months. But if you think that's the end, it is unfortunately not. I haven't spoken to him since January of this year. It only took a couple of weeks, but soon the messages started.
I'm getting harassed that you do and assuming nothing. Do you know why I'm removed from everything? Why I'm kicked out of OTK? Nobody's answering my calls and I don't want to bother you, but I'm panicking and I don't understand what's happening. Can we please communicate so I don't feel isolated and hated by my own org? I just want to be okay with each other, and I can't read the rest of this. I assume this comes from somebody from OTK, somebody in management.
At first it starts simple, be confusing messages.
Maybe I moved calls. I didn't move calls. Fuck. How did I get out of the call? What happened? That was weird.
You somehow moved calls. For a bunch
I didn't
of
mean
people.
to. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. Whoopsies.
This is why I don't do it. This is why I don't stream and look at anything else at the same time.
I clicked on another call. My bad.
Or like him.
I was clicking something.
Expressing he was worried about things.
I will fix that later.
Like first it wasn't anything.
I apologize. I was clicking something. Fix your VC. That was weird. I don't know why that happened.
Because you clicked on it.
I know. I'm like clicking things off, and I don't know why it fucking shoved me somewhere. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So these are a lot of things. Pro streamer W, yes, I noticed. My bad. It happens.
And at first, it starts simple. Be confusing messages, or like him expressing he was worried about things.
This is actually incredibly hard to see, but I'm going to try this again. Can we please communicate so I don't feel isolated? Yada, yada, yada. I'm home. I don't want to feel terrible. Can you please respond? I understand, but I just want to leave you alone. I really would appreciate it. We could talk about it. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, I really can't. These are impossible to read, by the way.
First, it wasn't anything weird.
I understand. We'll leave you alone. I just really want to appreciate if we could talk. Can we please talk about Emmy? I'm so sorry for what I said. Can we talk? So, like, is there messages on the other side of this? Because it looks like this person deleted them. I don't know, or maybe not.
Do you need a defense?
I can't read any of this. This is
that.
Okay, so this is can we Emmy, can we please talk? I really need you to do things. I'm so sorry for the past few months. I'm so sorry for what happened. I need this time to be alone. I really would love you so much. I really need to talk about this, blah, blah, blah. I hear you. Please hear me out. I wrote this. I really don't know how to feel. Please, I love you. Emmy, I love you so much. I've been crying every night without you. Please just call me. I'll be up. I want to do anything with you when I come home from Japan. Please answer me, Emmy. Please tell me you moved on. Just tell me at least you moved on.
You're in Japan and you're still thinking about it.
It's been a while. I can't think about it. This is like months. April, March. This goes on from February of last year to March of this year. I'll grab these and it's fine. I can read them. What I would say is like these are just him like fucking drunk texting her in like rapid fire motion.
This is not someone who loves or cares about you.
And then wait. Then we get some Discord messages. Can you please answer the phone? Can you please answer my phone now? I'm sorry. So this is May of this year. I'm sorry, not a day has gone by in the last 4 months where your final words to me don't go have echoed in my heart. I walked out your front door thinking I knew what I wanted, but I was wrong. I told myself that I wanted to be alone, that I had missed out on being single in my 30s. I convinced myself I needed space, freedom, and distance. But the truth is I was afraid of commitment, afraid of what it truly meant to let somebody in, even someone as beautiful and as kind as you. So I tried to protect myself in the worst way possible. I pushed you away. I told myself lies to justify it, and I said I was bored. I said I had a relationship that would hold me back. I said I didn't want to be doing anything without the truths. They were shields that I wanted to put up a face. Oh my God.
Dude, go on. I have something to say after you have finished.
No. I had nothing to say. I'm just like fucking...
Do not do this. If you lose, if you are the one who gets broken up, you gotta take it on the chin and move on. He has no one to talk to about this.
Yeah, like this is he's unloading on her for such a variety of reasons. And like, again, not okay. None of this is okay. Need to like express that none of this is okay. But this is insane. Oh my God, the last 4 months have been the hardest of my life. Whenever people may see on the outside, online or whatever, no one else, I've been lost without you. I've missed you every single day. I've cried more times than I can count just thinking about your smile, your laugh, and the way that you said merp or those little sounds that, okay. I had to unfollow you at one point because I wanted to forget you, and because seeing you reminded me so painfully of how bad I messed up. I love you, Emmy. I always have, and I know now I never stopped. I know our time together was far from perfect. My mental health weighed heavily on both of us, and I'm so sorry for what I put you through. You carried more than anyone ever should have, but I'm working on myself. I'm really working. I've started treatment. I'm on Lexapro and propranolol, and for the first time in my life, I feel clarity. My emotions aren't running wild anymore. I think more clearly. I feel steadier. I'm learning to be the man you always wanted me to be, or you believed I could be, and now that I get to see things clearly,
Also, can you stream to me again?
oh shit, I'm so sorry.
Very good.
Okay. Hold up. My bad. I'm gonna go this way. Let's see. Yada. You are the love of my life. Every night that we spent watching shows, every silly conversation about cheddar, every time you walked in my room, or every time I walked into your room as you were about to go live, I cherished it all. You brought color and joy into my life in ways that I don't fully appreciate until I lost it. And I hate that I let fear and pain and pride blind me to how lucky I was to have you. Emmy, if you still have a place in your heart for me, I would like to spend the rest of my life making things right. Loving you the way you always deserve to be loved. This time, finally, I am leaving for LA, and I would make it work with you, even if we start small. It has always been Matt and Emmy, and it still could be if you'll have me.
This is... Don't do that, people. Do not do this.
This is insane. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
I'm
Absolutely
begging you,
wild.
if you ever get dumped, and it's your fault, and you know it's your fault, you send one, maybe you know, in person you can admit to your faults and shortcomings and everything, and you move on. This ain't it.
I'm Emmy
and
without the slurs is actually really interesting. I mean, I'm Alex without the slurs is a really interesting comparison.
And I know, I mean, he said the R's there, but I know he's.
I don't care. Yeah.
I mean, that's to some people care. So, to some
well, I mean,
audiences.
no. I mean, I'm Alex at the N word.
I mean, British, but I feel like obviously he's writing this in with the thought that nobody but her would read this.
Yeah.
But she's the one who's reading this.
Yes.
You know, the ex is the one that's reading this. Do not write this. Do not send this. This guy's gonna fuck up his life however he fucks up his life. I'm telling chat, do not do this. For your own sake, like write it down and put it somewhere and read it in 10 months when you're more sober and you realize how much of a bad thing it is to send this to somebody. But do not ever do this to yourself.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's bad.
Don't be a coward, Greg. Okay, you're right. The next one is the reason why they get back together. I'm trying to make some levity here because it's pretty heavy. And this is my first Emmy stream. I avoid her because I like a lot of live streamers because I feel like a lot of them are vapid and you are watching them for their personalities, and I don't know dick about any of these people. But this is a rough first entry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Girl, you're going too quick! Mizkif. This is August 16th. Can we please talk while you're here? A simple conversation would go very far for the both of us. This lack of communication is very confusing, and I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. This is okay. So these are okay. Then this is on Instagram, and then this is like in August. This is the same day. Can we please talk while you're here? Both of us. Okay, good. Lack of okay. This is just those messages again. Okay, I thought I muted it. She's just very quiet. Okay, it's the same thing twice.
You know, she's pulling it off.
And keep in mind, this is only things that he sent to me. I can't document all the things that people told me that he was saying. And, it's just kind of a funny side note, I guess. I would like to highlight this message because doesn't really matter, but I ran it through a ChatGPT checker, and
okay, these things are not 100% accurate, so and 58%, that just means that he probably used like a grammar thing. It's a nitpick. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying these things are not wholly
all
accurate.
the highlights. Like I said, doesn't really matter. I just thought it was interesting. But yeah. Like I said at first, the messages were just simple things, like him saying he was worried about things, or saying no one was talking to him, which I don't think was even true at the time. I think he was just saying that to try to guilt me into responding to him. I'm not sure about that, of course. This also extended to in-person interactions, because initially I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through private communication, and you know, we would be fine going to the same events and parties and such. I also had to start hold on, I'm still fucking sick. I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through personal private communication, but I also had to start avoiding going to the same parties or places I was worried he'd be in person, because this was after he came back from his first trip to Japan.
Air detector soul scan did a big test last week. Same doctored score between 2% on one and 83% on another. Okay.
There was a party that I attended several months after I first went into contact with him. I was aware that he would be there, and I thought it'd be fine. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. I thought I'll just let him have his space. I'll have my space. You know, it's not a big deal. We're adults, right? During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me, but I thought that I was just being paranoid. I was like, it's probably just in your head. I was hanging out with Nick and Kachi and a couple other friends. And at some point, Nick was like, it's too fucking loud down here. Let's go upstairs. No one's upstairs. Let's just go, you know, chill in a room and like talk where it's not so loud. And I was like, okay. So they, as a group, went upstairs first without me, but it took me a bit longer to get up there because someone like stopped me and was talking to me. And I did feel like, I mean, he was like standing pretty close to that person. I felt like he was watching me, but again, I thought I was just being paranoid. But I went upstairs. I was hanging out with Nick and Kachi and, you know, our other friends. And then about 30 minutes later, the room that we're in, the door opens. It's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes, ooh, and then closes the door and leaves. And I was like, what the fuck? But again, I was still trying my best to, you know, give the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know, maybe it's just like an awkward situation or something.
Now, Miz contests this and says that this is an accident. I don't know how true it is.
But a couple months later, the person that he was hanging out with that night reached out to me privately and was apologizing. And I was like, why? And they're like, I just felt like I had to apologize to you because I felt so bad and so embarrassed of what was going on. Like, yes, he wanted to see what you were doing. He was saying, like, I want to go see what's upstairs, and he was checking every room. And then after he opened the room that you were in with Nick, he closed the door and started laughing, and then he just wanted to talk about, you know, how you guys broke up for the next, like, however many hours of the night. So I was like, wow, okay, that's good to know, I guess. The next story, that I want to tell involves what happened to me, Valkyrie, and Senna earlier this year when we were attacked at the Santa Monica Pier, because that was obviously, hold on, let me close all these fucking texts. I don't want to look at them. They're still on my desktop. Where was I? Yeah, so, yeah, it happened March 3rd of this year. A lot of people were talking about how me, Ray, and Senna were attacked. Which was not an issue. Like, we had no issue with that. Like, obviously, it's big news. People are gonna talk about it. It should be talked about. We had, like, no issues with anyone talking about it and covering it, and that included him. I was fine with that. He joined in on that whole thing of people going live to talk about it. And again, I'd like to remind people at this point, we were already a couple months into me being no contact with him, making it clear I didn't want anything to do with him. And so during this stream, he was covering what happened to me, Ray, and Cinna. He decided that he was going to tell more of my personal stalker stories that I've never personally talked about or shared publicly myself. And one of these stories was one that, like...
Okay. That's a little insensitive. He also does this in his response where he talks about her self-harming, which was an interesting choice to do. I don't know why he would talk about somebody else's self-harm, but okay.
Like, no one knew at all, and like, it's just...
Because like, for those who don't know, one of the things with stalkers is, like, stalkers love all attention. So the negative attention, the hurt that you feel from it, they equally love it. That's why you don't acknowledge them. Because acknowledging them fucks it up.
Just what felt so shitty, because at the time that those things happened, like, you know, all the people that lived in that area together, we all came together and we all kind of decided, and this was heavily pushed by him, we should never talk about this because, you know, people are gonna be weird. It puts Emmy in more danger, and, you know, gives people ideas, so we're never gonna talk about it. But, you know, of course, as soon as there's some big drama that he's not involved in, and he finds a way to, you know, bring up, oh, I was there for something that happened to Emmy.
Even from other people or just from the person. So, because the thing you got to understand is that with stalkers are going to know your friends. They're going to know who you love. They're going to know everything about you, especially for like celebrities. So they try their best to never acknowledge them, because acknowledging them gives them purpose and power. It's just a big thing with stalkers.
He does it. He was on a stream talking about these personal stories of mine, and I caught wind of it. And by the way, it was also so frustrating not saying anything at this time, because the way he told those stories, he kind of framed himself as like the hero. He was like, oh,
Oh, Greg, you missed this. So Mizkif says that, like, one time he's holding a gun at somebody's head, one of her stalker's heads, and he's like texting her at the same time while he's holding the gun.
Uh-huh.
Hey, how do you feel about that story?
Isn't there a subreddit r/that actually happened?
No, it's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
held the stalker at gunpoint. No. The only person who ever came into contact face-to-face with that stalker before the police came was Bonnie. Bonnie is the person who found that guy outside, went inside, told everyone, called the police. The police came. All Miz did was he stood far away from the front door, behind glass and metal, with a gun. Yeah, I mean, I understand, still very scary, but why are you acting like if anyone deserves credit for that, it's Bonnie. Like, it's literally stolen valor. I'm so glad I finally get to say that, because she is the one who, like, kept everyone in those two houses safe, not him. Anyway, back to the original thing.
What a fucking... Again, I would love to see proof of this claim, but God, that sounds like a loser.
Stuff. So, I was obviously panicking. Like, I just had this horrible thing happen to me the night before. It was like huge, like public, millions of people seeing it. And then my crazy ex-boyfriend is going live talking about more of my personal stuff. And, I'm like crying, and, Cinna and Ray are like, what's wrong? And I tell them, and I'm like panicking. I'm like, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so. Like, these different people that I was like, they can contact him, because I did not want to contact him. So, Ray, Cinna, some of me and Miz's mutual business partners, and Asmongold were all, messaging him to stop.
Wow.
And by the way, Asmongold told me that he tried to call Miz while he was talking, and it rang 3 times and then hung up, which means that he saw it, and he just wanted to be able to keep talking, because, yeah, anyway, just,
I mean, that's a lot of cooperation.
A little note.
And they've all been outspoken about him, so yep.
I don't know exactly what, like, the other people said to him, but Ray and Cinna told me that they were messaging him being like,
yeah, I know Asmon confirmed this.
Bro, like, stop, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And he was messaging them, who were also equally as traumatized as me, of course. They had gone through the same thing. Oh, what am I doing wrong? I'm letting people know what, girls go through. Was that your job? Well, anyway, yeah, that all happened a couple of months into me being no contact with him. And yeah, he was arguing with Ray and Senna while they're trying to be like, bro, like, stop, like, you're making it worse. He finished talking about my stuff and then reacted to Senna and Ray's whole stream where they were crying, addressing their communities, made sure to react to that, and then immediately went offline. So yeah, that was a terrible weekend. I got threatened to be stabbed, and then the next day, my weird ex was going live trying to self-insert so that he could make sure to farm his own clips. After that incident, his attempts to talk to me only ramped up, which I showed those texts. He went back to Japan.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like, it's this weird, he's constantly trying to self-insert himself back into her life. Allegedly, he's trying to self-insert himself back into her life. That it's such a bizarre, like, this is bordering on stalker-ish. Maybe he's his own stalker. Greg, thoughts?
Sometimes streamers are just like the random people you meet on the street. Do not worship streamers. They are regular fucking people who do crazy shit, same as your coworkers, same as the guy at the Jack in the Box, same as the guy who you buy cigarettes from. There's no difference.
And during that trip, he was texting and calling me, trying to call me quite a lot, begging me to take him back. And at the same time, I heard that he was reaching out to quite a few other streamers who know both of us. And he was crying to them about how he wanted to get back together and how he thought someday we would reconnect and eventually get married. I don't think he even meant that, but...
So Ms. alleges that she made a letter saying that she wanted them to get married. I don't have a corroborating for that. If she has corroboration that he's saying that, well, that's...
I hope not, but I assume he did that with the hope that they would relay the messages back to me since I wasn't talking to him. And, I mean, some of them did. I also had a couple other streamers report to me that he would obsessively watch my stream and not in a like, oh, I wonder what Emmy's doing right now way, or like having my stream open. Like, he would be obsessively and attentively hate watching my stream, like watching my stream and just saying horrible things almost every time that I've been live this year. And they tell me that he would want to discuss how he believed I still wanted him. Interesting, considering I never replied. And he would ask other guys if they thought I had slept with anyone this year.
I'm very focused on that.
They'd be like, I don't fucking know, man. And then they told me he would say stuff like, no, there's no way she's done that. She's not like that. And she's probably waiting for me. Just really fucking gross stuff like that. And a couple of streamers in LA also told me.
Pi makes a really interesting point. If the rabbits were that big of a deal to deal with, why did he not readily show text messages between him and Emmy? Why is the only thing that he shows a video? It's a really good point, Pi. It's a really fucking good point. We have trained Pi so well.
We? Don't say we when you're talking about
I
training
have groomed.
There you go.
Fuck me.
There it is. Clip a chat.
That he was telling people that me and him still talk all the time, but we simply weren't together anymore because I was too mature and I was not ready. I was too immature. But yeah, you can see from the messages I showed. I'm not sure if like...
I have not groomed Greg. Greg is older than me. He groomed me.
I mean, people can go back and read them. He was begging me to take him back for the majority of this year, which was 7 or 8 months total. And like I said, some of those messages were even, I believe, ChatGPT. Not that it really matters. It's just interesting, right?
So to answer the question, is there any evidence because you got here? So Emmy shows a series of text messages over the past 3 years, and people have gone and looked for the stream clips that she has identified where Miz has been physically aggressive towards furniture and other things and destruction of property. Furthermore, she shows text messages where he is harassing her, that she alleges is harassment. She could have deleted her side of the messages. I would like to see if Miz can prove otherwise. But he is like out of the blue constantly messaging her and messaging others about it.
As of today, it's been about 2 months since he has attempted to contact me directly. I think because about 2 months ago is when he started kind of getting scared that I might have been like, you know, telling people things. Which again, I wasn't going on my way to do it, but if anyone ever asked me, I wasn't gonna lie to them. I mentioned this at the beginning before I started like fully telling the story. I heard from my friends, other streamers, and my employees that he had cooked up a plot that if I ever tried to talk about him, like about the abuse or anything else, he would try to go live and say that I killed my rabbits. And I was told that he approached several
Which he did. He literally did.
Streamers who were around us a lot when we lived together and asked if they would basically back him up, and they refused. Obviously, they're not insane. And even something happened this weekend at TwitchCon. One of my employees told me,
and
he went up to them,
he even confirms this, yeah.
And he threatened them, saying, if Emmy ever tries to talk about me, I will destroy her. Whatever that means. And within the same night, he also texted one of my best friends, and he would have known that I would have been with this girl. He texted her saying, hey, worried about her, hope she's okay. You know, right after he just said to
yeah,
my
his
employee
stream was not about accountability after this. Like, listening to this right now, and I knew her statement was going to be very powerful. His stream is about revenge. Him saying I'm going demon mode is all about revenge. He just wants to unload on everybody. It's all about revenge for him. He doesn't care about taking accountability. He doesn't care about the hurt. It's revenge.
other people that he was going to try to destroy my life. Yeah, all.
Oh fuck! How bad was his stream? Very. I watched it last night with Diesel. So you guys can go. I don't know if we're gonna get to it tonight. We've already been live for about 3.5 hours. I want to get to some of the clips and the aftermath of certain things. So I don't think, because there are new allegations against him today.
Same night. And yeah, that was Saturday. So that pretty much leads us to today. Feel like it's clear I've spent the last year of my life cutting him off and building a new life with people that actually care about me and doing my best to move on peacefully without causing any drama. I did not want to do this. A lot of other creators actually told me that after his other allegations in 2022, if I wasn't the first person to stand up for him and start appearing on his channel again, they do not think that they would have gone back to helping him with his content. So I always try.
Christ. That's a fucking big thing to say.
To keep things private, always tried to make things better, had hope that things would get better, you know, tried to be supportive, and my thanks that I got for all of that was abuse and resentment, and for all of 2025, all of this year, harassment and hatred from him and his community, while he was the whole time secretly begging for me to take him back behind the scenes. I've taken a lot of steps already, as I said, it's apparent. I've taken a lot of steps to restructure my life and be a lot more careful about who I help and who I invest my time and my care into. And I'm doing a lot better now, but I felt like this was a necessary strain because, like I said at the very beginning, I have heard that he has done things to other people that aligned with some of my own experiences, so I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information.
And some of those people have come out today, and we're going to kind of look at those because there are other female streamers who have now put forth allegations towards him.
I know I stayed for way too long, and I thought that I could help, and I unfortunately learned that I couldn't, but I worked really hard to have the life that I have now with my friends, my family, my pets, and my community, and I'm so grateful for how things are now, It was very difficult, but I'm very proud of myself for making the choices that I did to end up where I am now. And yeah, that's my story of dealing with abuse, psychological and domestic abuse, sexual assault, and stalking, and being threatened on if, you know, I ever talked about it. And this whole time, it's been kind of hidden in plain sight away from hundreds of thousands of people. And, yeah. I know that me saying all of this probably isn't gonna make him or what's left of his community leave me alone, but sorry, voice crack. I know talking about this probably won't make him or probably won't make him or what remains of his community leave me alone, but I'm at least glad that people will be aware of all of this now, and I won't have to feel like I'm hiding a terrible dark secret anymore. And it's all out there now. And I also want to make it clear that not everyone that I interact with or that I'm friends with knew the extent of the things that were happening. And a lot of streamers didn't really know anything at all, but I mean, like I said before, people aren't stupid. I think it's pretty clear that a lot of people knew that things were happening, and like I said, you have to remember, it's not just me. A lot of people have.
I guess what just sucks is that, like, he got away with it for so long, you know? Like,
and,
if it's...
he'll probably kind of still continue to have a career, because
Mhm.
a lot of people just, like, chalk it up to just a bad relationship, or he's bad in a relationship, but he still brings in the numbers type of thing. He'll make it great on Kick. But, like...
I don't think so, because his audience might not like that, because they don't like Trainwrecks, and Trainwrecks is a co-owner of it.
Oh, is Trainwreck's a person?
Yes, Trainwrecks is a streamer that he and him and Miz have had long-standing beef. The whole Adriana Lee stuff came out because of Trainwrecks. So he'd have to stay on Twitch or go to YouTube. He can't go anywhere else.
Interesting. Burning bridges everywhere he goes. I'm kind of glad we're covering this, because I wouldn't have watched this otherwise.
Yeah.
Like I heard the headlines, or I read the headlines about it, and I got the gist of it, but like seeing like the amount to her story, like the totality of it, and like her explaining it herself and having a script and it really coming from her, and again, allegations, but still the amount of it is very like
yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot to take in. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's just a lot, man. It sucks. Like they're like there's nothing anything I could say.
Told me that they have their own, grievances with him. But for the people who did know about this, thank you for being there for me through all of this and supporting me and cheering me on. And there were a lot of people as well who, even though they didn't know anything, without asking any questions, they still were very kind and supportive, and I will always remember that for the rest of my life. I also want to say, just so people know, that I'm not just trying to like put this out there and then, I am already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California.
Wow. That's big. That's big. That's big. That's fucking huge.
And I also wanted to say that I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a slap lawsuit. It'd be interesting if that happened, and I wouldn't be opposed to people finding out more of the truth and things that I didn't even talk about today, and what else he's been lying about. And I'm sure there's also plenty of things that even I don't know about. And yeah, there's more things that I didn't even talk about today, but I'm hoping that now that I have this out.
For those who don't know, Emmy is in the process of filing two separate restraining orders, one in Texas and one in the other one.
This is the last time I ever have to talk about it.
Yeah, California.
I can be like, okay, I got it out there. I'm not withholding this anymore. It's out there. And yeah. I guess that's pretty much it. Definitely not how I would have liked to spend my Saturday. I would have loved to go to karaoke with my friends or something like that instead. A lot of people like karaoke, right, guys?
So I guess this is like the end of the stream. So these are the end of some of the big headlines. So we'll kind of move on to some of the stuff that's come aftermath. There's Mizkif's statement here. We watched it last night. You can watch me go over it with Diesel. But we've highlighted the points where Miz kind of speaks out. So Yeet has been constantly tweeting. So we'll go to there. We already watched this. So this is Asmin talking about it.
Wow, why is it such a coincidence that all the people in Austin and also LA don't talk to him? I think he's also like, there's been a large part of his community that's been trying to like actively downplay and spread misinformation and lie, and especially
something that Diesel put out too.
You know, hurt Emiru. And I think that really, I hope that now, after seeing the receipts and seeing the screenshots and seeing the edits and everything, I hope you realize who you're defending. I hope you realize that this is what you've been fighting for. And the amount of like law.
It's two separate cities, yes, because there's the streamer groups from those cities. He's on an island because for Twitch streaming, the separate people are Austin and California. That's like a whole big thing for them.
Lies and misrepresentations and vicious attacks that she and other people that were involved in the friend group had to endure, and the pressure that they would put on people to interact with him was disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
It was parasocial, disgraceful, embarrassing, and pathetic.
So that's what Asmin says. Continuing on. This is the fucking retire thing. We watched that last night. This is fucking... So apparently, we watched this last night, but I will tell you this. Apparently, Asmin feels bad for Ludwig because he's like, oh, well, Ludwig and him kind of like settled some things, and then this happens, and I probably should have told Ludwig. That's the end of that content. So this is another popular streamer, Aria Saki, who recounts her experience with Mizkif and calls out his selfishness, attaching himself to Rekful. Rekful is a streamer that killed himself. She also says that she was aware of what Emmy and what others went through, but was going to ask him to lunch to talk seriously about it. Eventually, she changed her mind after he forced a live stream on her and showed zero self-reflection. Let's go. One of the reasons Byron killed himself was because he was jealous of me. A quote, alleged quote from Mizkif 2025. I was cordial during a live stream where you asked me to come over and collab just to save you the public shame, and my plan was to ask you to lunch for a serious talk. I have messages with Emmy approving this plan, although doubtful. It wasn't completely hopeless, and I needed to see for myself since I had seen Miz as a friend too. I had known about your terrible treatment to others and wanted to know if you felt any remorse or could essentially be changed. But you went live anyways, without my consent. I ended up letting you down there too, but after the stream, I offered some time to talk with you, which you agree. Miz came over to my place where we talked around 3 hours, going in circles about his mistreatment in the scene. I do my best to entice the possible path of reflection, but ultimately to no avail. The man was convinced he had done no wrong, and everyone was out to get him. I gave you a chance to come clean about anything, just to see if there was any humanity left in you. And you fucked it up so hard. The one statement that broke all hope for you. Not realizing I had become close to Byron. Not once during the time I had talked to him every single day leading up to the tragedy, and he never mentioned your name. That he had ever mentioned your name, excuse me. Once I angrily confronted you about that and showed you proof of our friendship, you quickly tried to change the subject after saying, well, he was. I've been holding on to this shit statement for some time now, waiting for the right moment when Emmy decided to come forward with everything. You're a shit human, Miz. You are not a victim, but you create them. We got on the right track when you finally mentioned mood swings, but quickly after admitting to that, You go back to the pity party narrative, and I was honestly just done. My stubborn grandmother has shown me more of the ability to self-reflect than you, and I've had it listening to you talk in only victim tongue. Don't ever mention Byron again to further any sick narratives of yours. Continuing on, Asmongold says that he apologizes for the. Let's listen to Asmongold apologizing about vague posting.
You know, a while ago, it's like it will be bad, and it's not my story to tell, and I think you guys can see why now. I apologize for two things: for vague posting about it and saying that, and I also apologize for platforming him. Right? I mean, the truth is, I couldn't have known. I didn't know any of this whenever I met him. Whenever we started OTK together, I had no idea. And when I did realize, you can see kind of the way that I dealt with it and everything, and it's just like in stream, like this is the reason why I fucking like when Ludwig had that clip about like 95% of streamers are gonna talk to again, I was like, yeah, yes, bro, like yes, you're so right. Like the thing that happened.
I do think it's a little fucked that he's like, yeah, Ludwig is right, and it's like, then maybe you should say something.
2022 was kind of like the beginning of the end for me with like being friends with any streamers or anything like that, and I have like a very small circle now of people that I'm close with.
Okay. Moving onward. As we go,
he's just going to go scorched earth. If Miz is going to release information that's going to make streamers look bad, or bad information or bad things that streamers did, then I think that he should do that. Because ultimately, and this is my opinion, right, is that if somebody actually did something bad, and the problem, see, here's the problem with Miz, right, is that he's a liar. He's a liar, and everybody knows it. So anything that he says is probably going to be a fucking lie. But assuming that it's not, assuming that some things can be verified by a second source or whatever, and it's not just him showing some screenshots or something like that, but assuming that there's actual provable evidence that somebody did something wrong, yeah, I think we should know about that. So yeah, it's like, you know, don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, I'm sure there might be some like little thing that he could say about me that might make me look.
I tried to bring up the subtitles again. There's a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Bad. I don't know. I'd have to scroll through all my DMs with them and see. But after like 7 years, I'm sure I've said one or two things that are off color. But otherwise, you know, again, I think that really, it's just that's something that might make you look bad, right? I don't really care about that a whole lot. But yeah, Asmon actually showers daily, right? And yeah, can you believe Asmon said the N-word? Believe that. And you know, something like this, right? But yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, definitely. So like my outlook on it is like if he wants to go scorched earth with people, then if you're talking about legitimate accusations and things like that, I don't think you should believe anything he says off the rip. But on like a principle basis, it was the same thing I said about Destiny, right? Is like Destiny said like, well, if I'm going down, I'm going to take all these streamers with me. I said, don't threaten me with a good time, right? So like if there's
and Destiny has never made good on that ever. Still hasn't made good on that. It's a very interesting comment. Listen. I have no love for Asmongold, but that is a very good point. Destiny hasn't made good on that yet.
a bunch of other streamers that have problems and skeletons in their closet that are actually bad. Like, not like, oh, they did something privately that was mean, but like genuine abusers, bad behavior, then yeah, I think it should be it should be exposed. But I don't think anybody should take anything he says immediately and just like be like, oh wow, I guess that's what happened. Do you see kind of what I'm saying, right? And so like basically I would only trust anything that he says if like 3 other people verified it, right? And that's really the way I would see it more than anything. So yeah, all people are terrible, expose them all. I mean, I don't know yet, right? But that's generally I'd be grasping at straws. Yeah, and I think also the fact is that like he ruined his credibility completely, and I don't.
Yeah, sometimes Asmon has valid points. And then he kind of puts his fucking foot in his mouth sometimes. I still like. I don't like the comment of like, yeah, well, Ludwig, maybe somebody should have told them. I'm like, yeah, probably you.
Think anybody's gonna really listen or care, but at the end of the day, you know, he's gonna be able to do what he wants, right? Ice Beside him posted about him. Yeah, he did. He did. And so yeah, and still won't save him. Yeah, I think that's the way that a lot of people feel. Is like,
yeah, this is not gonna save him. I'm not gonna go over this one, but this is the last one. So this is another streamer, Quoko. So I did a little bit of research on this streamer. This is like an OnlyFans model streamer person. Nothing wrong with that. She, for a period of time, dated a mutual friend of his and a member of OTK called Lakari, if I'm understanding this correctly. So she is sharing her own experience with Asmongold and also alleging SA. So let's continue this on. My experience, my Mizkif SA and harassment experience. Number 1. Our first hookup, I was so drunk I couldn't even open my eyes. Originally, I was supposed to crash out on the couch, but somehow ended up in his bed. I remember all I wanted to do was sleep, but he kept on kissing me and undressed me. I felt like I finally let him have it because I was too dizzy to care anymore. He made sure to coach me to say that it was consensual afterwards, and to get the story straight, because he was afraid of being canceled. He was so sweet at that time, and that we ended up having a consensual fling afterwards. Okay. 2. After our fling ended, he started terrible rumors about me, telling people I was a manipulative, bad, and an awful human. He would tell people that I cut myself during sex and that I was crazy. I would hear the most awful rumors from people that I just had met even years later. He would continue talking to me long after we no longer interacted. This made me never reach out to people anymore. I was mortified of the rumors he'd spread and depressed over what people thought of me. Lucari is a witness to the depression Miz caused me. He's also a witness to the harassment I experienced long after the fling was over. 3. During my relationship with Lucari, he would regularly talk shit about me and constantly tell Lucari that he doesn't know the, quote, real Quoko. He tried poisoning our relationship the whole time. He would plant ideas into Lucari's head to start fights. After the relationship with Lucari ended, Miz upped the shit talking even more. Lucari noted that it looked like Miz was actively trying to ruin my reputation. I would hear how everyone in Austin hates me because of what Miz would say. I think Emiru is super brave for coming out with her story. I struggle with posting this because I don't want to be associated with or tied to him at all, but I want to corroborate her story with my personal hell Mizkif kindly gifted me. These are fucking wild allegations if true. Let me see if there's anything new that Yeet has posted. This is like you brought her to our house and she was already doing TikToks like this. This is just like that they're all doing like whatever shit. But yeah, at the current status that we are in, that is oh no. No. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I don't want that. I didn't want that. Why does it always fuck me up? Why does it do that sometimes? At the current status, that is everything that we know about Mizkif. Greg, how do you feel as I pull up the chats? How do I pull this up?
I mean,
let me pop it out.
Everything's pretty much that. Just gotta wait. See what
about
happens now.
Chat? Okay, I can do that. Sorry, I'm trying to pop it out and make it easier for us to read.
I can read chat fine.
No, I meant the donations, so we can hit the donations, because I feel bad that we missed them. It's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot of information. Like a lot. It's just fucking a lot, man. I don't even know what to say. Let's read some of the super chats. I want to thank everybody for donating today. We'll read some of them. Beware. This is where I stopped it. Kairos for the 2. Beware Doggo. Lightning strike incoming. Run Pupper. Pinker Neon Nova for the Canadian 5. You know what? W Falgi for muting TTS. Alita Siren VODs the 5. Twitch and frankly content creators as a whole. It's a platform is so sexist and bad for women. I feel like a new story comes out every day. Axis for the 5. I know I'm the race guy. Why? Why?
Thank you for the 5.
Why? Axis, why?
You don't have to read them. You don't have to read them all.
I'm not going to read that one. I'm not going to read that one. I'm not going to read that one. McQ Fantasy with the $4.99. That's actually the final straw for me leaving my ex. He threw his phone at me and hit the wall. Everything changed after that. I'm not reading it. You fucking Greg can read it. Metaman with the 5. It's so gross to be insecure as a man and be so abusive. Eris Falda 1997 with the $2. You got read. I'm not reading that. Fuck off. Lost Coyote MA. $5. The Poggers community has fallen. Billions must watch the op block because it's a better streamer than anything on Twitch. Fuck yes. Poos Plant. Poos Planet with the 2. It seems like she's been very careful with her words. Yeah, I would. Kim, thank you for the Reon membership. Slug with the 5. Don't listen to Greg or Falgi do this. It'll work 100% of the time. These are idiots. Slug, can't believe I gotta clarify. I'm joking, morons. Clug again with the 2. Also, unlike you, Falgi, I got 4 pounds of brisket, Keck. Trev again with the 2. Just got here. Has there been any evidence? I want to thank everybody very, very much. Fine, I'll fucking read it. Axis says for $5, Axis is the race guy. And he says, so let's be real. Axis thinks that Emiru is a half Asian cosplayer, and as bad as it sounds, he thinks she likes the internet creep catnipping.
No. You're right or wrong.
She's
According
like
to
internet keep cat. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. But that's the stream chat. That's everything. Thank you guys very, very much. Thank each and every one of you. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a better stream than this. I may be covering the Pokemon stuff tomorrow, or the Gilla's Doodle Tones video tomorrow. I'll give you guys the choice. But thank you guys very, very much. I don't know if there's anyone to raid you guys into. Let me see. Is there anyone I can raid you guys into? Unfortunately not. There is no one to raid you guys into. So that is the end of the stream. Thank you guys very, very much. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves. I don't... So nobody's stream. I don't... If Julie's streaming, she doesn't have the thing on. But that's pretty much it. Goodbye, everybody. Pokemon drama tomorrow, maybe. Or the Doodle Tones video. It is up to you. Goodbye, everybody. Greg, say goodbye.
There's another Doodle Tone.